You are listening to a Dynamicworksproductions podcast. This show is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio Network, and many, many more podcast services around the world. You can find all our content, music, videos, books, podcasts, and more on our website, www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Have questions, comments, or concerns for us? Head on over to the social tab on www.dynamicworksproductions.com if you'd like to talk to us. Now, on with the show. Welcome to another episode of the Fork in Your Ear podcast. I'm your host, as always, author, podcaster, and gamer, Tim K. Trotter. Joining me, as always, in a hot seat on the right letterbox side of my Skype screen is the one, the only, the Nate East of Foos.
Coming to you in the best of formats, widescreen and letterboxed.
Yeah, even though it's yeah, it is both. Just wanted to let our Fork fam know we made an attempt to record this episode on Zencaster. Even dipped into the devil's well of Chrome on my M1 Mac, but Nate's computer said
no.
Nah.
Nah, fam. Not gonna happen. You want access? I don't have access.
Definitively.
And it was just, for dumb reasons. And it was an error message behind a click box to allow with no allow button. That's just, I don't have the time and patience for that today. Yeah, I am battling a hangover.
Nate's hungover. We're recording not on our Saturday.
No.
We're in a Sunday afternoon cast. Because
life.
Something happened with the scheduling and your wife's calendar and your calendar.
I love my wife. And if she's listening to this, she's already heard me say it. But why the heck would you put an entry in our shared calendar that that's how I know when things are going on, and not put the proper times on them?
Bad.
Right? We had this.
I mean, I'll be honest, I occasionally do that on work on the shared calendar. But I'm also the one who's supposed to keep the calendar. So if I do it, it's
correct.
Bad.
Correct. So, I let her know that this was a podcast weekend. She goes, okay. She knows what time we record. So that was Friday.
Yeah.
By the way, it's podcast weekend. Okay. Nothing. Then it comes time for, hey, are we ever going to go? Because it's, getting close to 5:30 and the show's supposed to start then. She goes, no, it doesn't start till 6:30. I said, what time does it end? She goes, 10:30-ish. What? Why didn't you tell me this? She goes, why didn't you look it up on the website? I said, I looked it up on the calendar, the one you share with me, and it said 5:30 to 6:30.
Yeah. What was this show?
It was there's a little amphitheater in the Burbank area called the Starlight Bowl.
Okay. Okay.
And they have a concert series, Concerts in the Park.
Okay.
And this was a cover band called Yachtly Crew.
Yacht?
Yes. So you can imagine the type of music it was.
Yacht music?
Yacht rock.
What the hell is yacht rock?
Toto, Christopher Cross. Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of stuff.
Weird.
Foreigner.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Foreigner's probably in there somewhere. Chicago, certain eras of it. Old stuff. Probably stuff you don't listen to. And for some reason, I now shrunk down to normal size. Skype, you're
Same.
doing funny stuff.
Same. I just had an update in my defense.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe yours is
It's updating in the
peg
process. I'm
behind.
going to see a new button.
Oh God.
Right?
Yeah. Well, we have lots to talk about.
Do we now?
This week?
Oh,
So
goody.
I guess probably, and then probably more to talk about off air. All right.
There. A Deadpool.
Spin the ring.
The Deadpool.
The ring has. Oh, nice. He's got a little Deadpool stroking his mic thing.
There. It's the Deadpool sitting on the.
He's doing the crayon.
Yeah,
drawing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I'm gonna murder you.
I know my kids were in my room because Deadpool ended up straddling my mic stand. And I think it's adorable, so I'm leaving him here. Besides, resisting is futile. If I take it off, it's gonna end up back on there.
So we've landed on water. Entertainment.
Water that's entertainment.
Yes, sir.
So Westworld, huh?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about it so far?
I'm thinking it's finally picked up, and it's rolling away. And I still don't really have any ideas, but I'm listening to. I feel like I shouted out these guys last time. I'm listening to my
you did.
My Westworld Shout on TV podcast. Host Gene Lyons over there. Going to give him another shout out because I really just enjoy that particular group's commentary on the stuff. It's like part of my Westworld ritual.
Sure.
Is that specific podcast because they do 3 shows. They'll do an Instacast. So as soon as the episode is aired, they'll do like a 15-minute. Like, oh, this is what I immediately thought of this. This is what I thought of this. Blah 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 blah. And then they'll like join us Monday or Tuesday for our deep dive, and then we'll have like an hour plus discussion, and then Friday they'll do mailbag and tinfoil hat theories.
Right.
And it's good stuff. Good stuff. I listened to that on the way up to the airport. I listened to it on the way back from the airport.
Nice.
So I'm pretty thinking about Westworld, of course. It'll come up in life, but I was driving the wife to the airport this morning. Of course, it's Sunday. We're recording, and I was like, I only have one important question to ask you because it's Sunday. And she's like, what? And I was like, can I watch Westworld without you?
And that's a fair question. Because a lot of shows that my wife and I are watching these days, we're both watching on our own time because, life is being very lifey right now.
Yeah.
So
sure fucking is.
There's been a couple of times she's walked in the room and goes, is this the new Orville? I go, yep. And she goes, I'm out of here. Unless you want to start it over. And I'm like, nope, I'm 48 minutes into it already.
Well, I mean, we are on the entertainment thing. So speaking of that, I've maybe mentioned it on Fork. I don't know. It was a while ago because so an anime called Rent-A-Girlfriend that I fell in love with years ago, and I've now read all 200 and some.
See, that's a statement that definitely needs context. You can't just go around saying, I fell in love with Rent-A-Girlfriend.
Yeah. So if I've not talked about it on the show before,
I
feel like I would have years ago when season 1 came out. So it was when Jessica was working nights, and I was just feeling rather lonely as a person. And I saw this ad on Twitter for a show that was called Rent-A-Girlfriend. And I just read the title and I went, what in the actual fuck is Rent-A-Girlfriend?
Right.
And so I looked it up, and apparently, especially in Japan, Dubai, and apparently a small outlet here in Seattle, it is very popular to pay a pretty exorbitant amount of money to rent a girlfriend who will like full show be your girlfriend for like an hour or two, or dinner date, or a play date, or I'm actually alone, but I'm going to show up at this family engagement and act the part kind of thing. And it's very, very in style, apparently.
Yeah, it's called professional escorts, and that's not a new concept.
Yeah, but no, not with sex.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's professional escorts you can get, and some of them will go all the way up into including, the aforementioned after parties. But
Sure.
yes, you can get companions.
Yeah, and I was just like, this is a real thing?
Mhm.
What the fuck? And a little part of me was just like, man, I would totally have done
Mhm.
this like about 10 years ago.
Yeah, if I had
Like, I would have done that.
untold amount of
Like,
cash, that's
what
just
the
kind of
fuck?
an easy that's kind of an easy out. Like I need a girlfriend for the evening, right?
Sure. Yeah, it's wild stuff. So anyway, there's an anime that has started as a manga, as most animes do, that has literally blown the fuck up over in Japan to the point where there's a spin-off manga. Season 2 the anime just happened. There's a plane flying over my house.
As long as it's not flying into your house.
I guess. Um and it's so popular in fact that it's getting the illustrious live action TV show treatment over in Japan as well because it's so popular. But basically yes.
Go.
Okay. Nate made the funniest of Nate faces. um so basically the basic premise of it is there's a college dude and he gets broken up by this like ice cold bitch who is like his girlfriend and he's devastated about it. And then he's like googling and he's sad and he's pathetic and he's like, oh, I can rent a girlfriend. And he rents like this girl and um like he has a good time or whatever, but then like coincidence after coincidence happens that spirals out of his control to the point where basically within the first couple of mangas or episodes, they go to the same college, him and the girl. They're freaking apartment neighbors, like next door neighbors, and B, uh, they run into both his grandmother because of how the hierarchy of adults work in Japan. You know, grandparents have a lot
Hmm.
of sway
Yes.
and whatnot, and they run into the main dude's grandma who's staying in a hospital, and then of course because reasons she's best friends with the rent-a-girl's grandma, and then they all now think that they're dating, but he's still paying her, and then he falls in love with her, and then maybe she's in love with him, maybe not, like all that rom-com shit.
Cool. That just sounds very
Super.
not neat.
It's not. But season 2, but Jessica enjoyed that show with me. She particularly enjoyed the humor of it. Um and so season 2 of that came out, and like this show, like years ago, because anime seasons are weird, you'll get a season here and then maybe 5 years later you'll get a second season or whatever. Very odd. And so I was watching season 2 episode 1 last Sunday, which is when it airs on Crunchyroll here in the States. um and I like texted Jessica because she works Sundays, and she was like, I was like, oh hey, I'm watching Rent a Girlfriend. Season 2 episode 1 was pretty good, pretty solid. And of course now that I've read the manga, I'm like even more, I know like what the story's going to be. It's like, oh okay, they did these, it's pretty good. And then of course I got and I didn't know this, I got what the fuck do you mean you watched it without me?
Right.
And I was like, that was a show we were watching together? Question mark.
Right.
And she was like,
Yes.
yes.
I was in the room every time you watched it.
Yeah. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, well.
Sorry.
So now Sundays are Westworld and Rent a Girlfriend days.
Sounds like a good Sunday.
Which reminds me now that I said it, I did not ask about Rent a Girlfriend for today. I only have permission for Westworld.
It's when you go incognito mode on the browser.
That's fine. It's not. It's I got an app for Crunchyroll.
Right,
So.
but if you go and it says, continue watching or replay, she knows you've watched it. Right?
I mean, only if I don't know.
It'll be the one time she notices.
We'll see what
Right.
happens. So yeah, so I'm watching that. It's good. They got a new art studio for the show, so the quality jumped up a lot while still maintaining the previous style. Yeah, it's good. I'm a huge fan of that series and show and manga and all that sort of shit. So we were watching that. Season 3 of Solar Opposites dropped on Hulu, which is hysterical. It's from the creators of Rick and Morty. They do a lot of parodying stuff because they're on Hulu. They're Hulu exclusive. This year they went to Hulu Land in one of the episodes, which is fantastic. And then they even like poke fun at the fact that it's called Hulu Land, and they're like, we're totally not doing that episode of The Simpsons, you guys. We're totally not doing.
And then they do it.
Well, no, something else happened, but it's still good, great nonetheless. So we're doing that. We finished Miss Marvel.
Okay.
This week.
Yeah, I saw your write up on it, and I'm kind of I'm kind of in the court of I'm glad I skipped this one. Because again, it wasn't. I think I recall when it dropped, when the first episodes dropped, it just wasn't holding my interest.
Yeah, so I think, and it's funny because I was having the same conversation with my in-laws last night. Miss Marvel is a shotgun blast approach to a show. It like, it has like the teen drama shit. It has too much MCU stuff, in my opinion. Like, they try this, they try that, they try this, they try this, and not all of it lands. And it seems like almost they too were aware of that, because in the last episode they like retconned about 95% of my comic book issues with the character.
Sure.
By the time the credits rolled. To the point where like I was clapping at one point and I was like, thank you for doing the correct thing and doing the comic book thing. I don't know why we had to do all this wacky shit before we got to this shit, but thank you.
It's almost like someone else wrote it, and then at the very end, Kevin Feige came in and was just like, nope.
It's hard because both the original creator-writer of Kamala Khan worked on this show, and in comparison to some of the other Marvel MCU TV shows, like this one says in the front a Kevin Feige production, which doesn't pop up on all of the shows. And so it was one of two things. Either they got to episode 6 and it was like, yeah, we wanted to try these things, but they're not working retcon.
Right.
Or they've been lying to us and this is the plan all along for whatever reason. Hard
because
to say.
Multiverse.
This one won't have anything to do with the multiverse.
But like that's maybe like I don't know. Why would you do that?
Sure.
So
I mean, I don't know. But so without giving anything away, it went a long ways to fix my personal problems with her introduction into the MCU. Long ways.
Okay.
Wasn't like a spectacular finale or anything. Like the way I think I described it to my in-law was like, episode 1 was like the teen comedy drama with like the weird writing on the thing, which doesn't appear in other episodes. Like the kind of Scott Pilgrim-esque thing, which they even have said was an inspiration for that, to like a family drama thing / coming of age story, to suddenly a mystical, magical thing about magic and history, to very strangely, although I thought it was one of the better parts of the series, to like this historical thing that happened in India, where the Pakistani part like seceded from India, and there's like a whole war about it, which apparently is real, and I had no idea. As an American white boy, like, but how they portrayed it to me, like I thought that stuff was absolutely fascinating. Did it need to be in a Miss Marvel show? No. Because one of the things that I I think I stated before, being quite familiar with her in her comic book form, um, is the way they handled her family stuff, and the fact that like she's an American Muslim and living in New York and all of this stuff. Like it was handled mostly like within the family or within like they would say something in I believe the language is Urdu, because at least that's what it says in the TV show.
Okay.
In the comic it would be like the little box and it's like, this means blah in
Right.
English or whatever. That was kind of the way they handled those elements, and this was definitely a lot more forceful. But I think from outside looking in, not being a part of that culture, I felt it was well executed in the better part of the show. Because like I had no idea about some of this history stuff. Like it was good stuff. But again, it's a shock and blast, because then the next episode goes like full on like action sequence and like running through markets in Pakistan and like all kinds of weird shit to then like suddenly bring it back to, okay, well now we're back in New York. And it's like, okay, what? Huh? All right. Like it's very scattershot.
We have a production budget. Use it all.
Oh yeah, especially in the last episode, pretty much, basically. So yeah, I mean, I'll say, like I said, it's complicated to watch because it's so, all right, we're doing this, now we're doing this, now we're doing this, like just rapid pace. And it was funny because when I was talking to my in-laws about it, they actually had just running in the background on their TV, they had Spider-Man Homecoming, and Spider-Man and Kamala Khan are very much in each other's sphere of influence. In the comics. They're New York superheroes. They're more quote unquote street level, like all that sort of stuff. And I was like, Kamala Khan like should have been a more focused, like kept in New York high school story, like how Spider-Man's first MCU movie is. But instead they're like, we're gonna do it all in 6 episodes.
Then again, gets back to my complaint about 6 episode seasons.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, if it had been like a 10 episode or a 12 or something, I was like, cool. We don't need to rush.
Right.
And I think Kamala Khan's a very important character because I feel obviously they're leading to a Young Avengers squad. And unfortunately her stuff just feels kind of rushed, and she's going to link up, and this was already confirmed long before the show come up, she will be in the next Captain Marvel movie, which is called The Marvels. So it'll have her, Captain Marvel, and then also Monica Rambeau's character from WandaVision will be in it. So it's going to be those 3 characters, and then the after credits in Miss Marvel basically sets up the Marvels movie, and it's got that thing, and the after credits happen, and then it's like Miss Marvel will return in the Marvels, or whatever.
It's marvelous.
So there's maybe it's Maybelline. So I don't know. I think it definitely could have done better. I don't have anything against the actress who plays Kamala Khan. I thought she did an amazing job with what she's given.
Sure.
Obviously, like, she doesn't get a say in this stuff. And we'd already seen pictures of it. Her full-blown MCU costume in the end was perfect, like spot on, chef's kiss. Like, oh, okay, that's fantastic. We knew it was what it was going to look like, but seeing it in live action,
right?
It's like, okay. Obviously, wasn't worried about them not nailing a costume, since I feel like MCU's done a little bit better in that department than say DC.
Ever since the what was it, the Falcon Winter Soldier, or what's it, when they revealed his Captain America outfit.
Oh, his stealth suit.
Yeah. He was just like, here, we know it's coming. We know there it is. Yep, that hits.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. So
no bat nipples here.
It'll be. Yeah. Anyway, I was about to make a a poor joke about like 1,000-piece interconnected plates with elastic, on you know wanted actors playing the
Hmm.
Flash. Yeah, so I don't know, Miss Marvel. I would say it's a hard one to fully love and appreciate if you have not read the
Right.
comics. But on that note, my mother-in-law saw it and she wasn't familiar with the comics. She loved it. But of course, father-in-law, who is comic based, is like, yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you, Tim. So those are my thoughts on that. But I'm sure you would much rather talk about Westworld.
No, not even.
Not
Not
even?
even. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
The only, yeah, that's again my usual stable of stuff. I actually started watching and I don't know why for the life of me I'm doing this because it's torturous, but I started rewatching the original 1980s Thundercats.
I really thought you were gonna say the original Westworld movie there, but
No,
then I was like, I don't think it came out in the 80s.
no, the original
Are you sure
Thundercats.
Westworld was okay?
It is so
What brought
bad.
that on?
It was one of those. I was on Hulu. I caught up with every show that I wanted to catch up. I didn't feel like starting anything new. I'm like, what's on Hulu? Thundercats? I'm like,
Okay.
oh, is this the new? No, this is the original one. Fire it
Hmm.
up. And my God, the storytelling on that is such bullshit and garbage. Like, I don't even, I'm watching the first episode in awe going, this entertained me as a kid. No wonder I have issues.
It's funny, like uh I've said the same thing about some of my childhood shows that are like you remember it as like amazing, and then as an adult you go back and one of two things happen. Either the cartoon actually is immaculate and amazing and the storytelling and all that stuff holds up,
Hmm.
or
It was a show to sell a product. And they
it
paid
was a show to sell a
right.
product
They
and you're
paid
just like,
no
what the
mind
fuck
to
is happening?
anything. Yeah.
I've said that for I think I talked about it recently, like with the original Rescue Rangers
Hmm.
TV show. Not good. Very
At
bad.
all.
Like it's awful. And I've also said that for, and it's surprising because we know that it's actually returning, which is wild to say, is the 1996 X-Men animated series
Hmm.
that got every 90s person into X-Men. All of that stuff made X-Men like really put it on the map. It was
Right.
huge. Um but if you go back, like the storylines, like the arcs are like really good, but man, the dialogue, the performances are just so bad. And
Right.
you're just like,
Yeah. And again, I'm watching this and it's like where the
yikes.
advertisement breaks are and how the art direction goes. And it's like, wow, they probably had a good story here. And they said, well, crap, we've got to get it
Yeah.
down to 22 minutes.
Oh yeah. That's usually how it goes on
Right.
those
And they just said
those types of animated
they
shows.
just wholesale said, just get rid of this entire line. So that
Yeah.
dialogue now makes zero sense, but they're like, it's under 22 minutes. We're done.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like definitely like even the original G1 Transformers series is victim to that kind
Hmm.
of era's stuff as well. Like there's some good stuff in there, but also it's like the voice acting's good, but the story is just like what
And see,
actual
that's the thing. I was like, maybe the voice acting's good. And no, it's horrible. Like the voice
Mm,
acting's just horrible. Everyone just mailed it in. And then the writing was just like, we're going to trope the hell out of everything. You're going to listen to me
yeah.
because I'm Lion-O, Lord of the Thundercats. Okay. And that's the reason? Well, yes. No.
Well, so watching that obviously wrecks your nostalgia for the thing, but does that make you want to watch like the new one?
No.
Okay.
Like, I'm just like, it just wipe that whole thing from my memory because I used to remember this fondly and boy, was I wrong.
Mm, yeah. It just happens. It's like one of those things.
Yeah.
Uh it's funny because like you can revisit like a lot of stuff. Like for me, and it's scary because you don't know whether it's gonna wreck your nostalgia,
Hmm.
you know. Like if you watch Disney's Tailspin, it still holds up, in my opinion, today. You know, obviously the crown jewel of the '90s era was Batman the Animated Series because it still fucking holds up so goddamn well. You know, to the point where they've done HD color corrected and frame by frame image stabilization for the original art cells, and it's just like, yeah, this is a fucking immaculate piece of work. You know, and then there's other stuff that, you know, doesn't hold up as well, but you can tell like there's a lot of stuff there. um like another one for me is actually the late '90s early 2000s Transformers Beast Wars, which used
Hmm.
CGI animation, and the CGI animation does not hold up. However, the acting and the story was so fucking adult. And I was like, damn, they did this on a fucking Saturday morning cartoon? I
Uh-huh.
can't even fucking believe this shit. You know? You know, so it's, you know, it just varies. You know, there's just stuff that doesn't hold up. You know, like I'm bemoaned to say, because it was a touchstone of my childhood, but the specifically within the community, it's called Sat AM, as an abbreviation. The Saturday morning Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon series that ran on ABC, not the one that ran on Disney Channel, which is weird because they ran at the same fucking time period and had the same voice actors of Jaylee White. You know, Urkel as Sonic the Hedgehog was the
Right.
first voice actor for Sonic, and like the Disney one, stupid, over the top garbage, and then the ABC one was much more adult, much more uh, Batman the Animated Series. But like, it's like the stories hold up, but like the whole other production of it, not so much. And I'm loath to say that because that's one of the things that I loved so much back then, and have the DVD set now and whatnot.
Right.
But it's you got to swallow a bunch of cringe on that rewatch. Unfortunately, as much of a Sonic fan as I am, you know, so you know, nostalgia is a funny thing, man. You know, sometimes you have, you know, not beer goggles, but like kid goggles or teen or 20s goggles on something, you know, and you look at it again and you're just like, why?
Right.
How did I enjoy this?
Why did I enjoy this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and it's just like some stuff just, you're just like, what? I don't get it. I don't give it. um yeah. So what did you want to say on Westworld?
I'm enjoying the mind trip that it is. It's still I'm looking forward to tonight's episode, which will be in what, 6 hours at this point.
Yep.
To see if they actually start progressing the story and
Well,
not
we've
just
only
develop
got
characters.
8
Right.
episodes, so they're I'm assuming we're on the quick train now,
Yeah.
both metaphorically and
Hmm.
literally. Cuz there's trains in this show.
Yes.
Um so yeah, I don't know. I think the kind of somewhat soft reboot that they seemingly did with their time jump um was what the show needed
Hmm.
after season 3, because it allows them to have a span of time where you don't know what's going on
Right.
or what happened even. And so like where they're moving now with um you know, the different elements. I'm trying to speak about it because I don't want to do a huge super spoiler thing
Right.
since it's at the front of our podcast. Um, you know, there's a lot of mystery elements. There's a lot of ironically, like what we were seeing earlier on nostalgia, there's a lot of nostalgic elements that have been put back in the show that have been missing since seasons 1 and 2.
Hmm.
And those are there intentionally, either as pleasing parts or as, why is this element from season 1 or 2
Right.
back? And is it there as a trap?
Right.
Question mark. I don't know
Is it
yet.
purposeful
Like
lazy writing or lazy writing? Right.
I mean, it's hard to say, or it's clever
Right.
writing. Like, we won't know until the end, I think. But it's interesting what they're doing because they could go a lot of different directions. Having, like I said, having listened to Shout on TV's Westworld podcast a lot.
Mhm. I'm just waiting for them to do it. Do a direction, please.
They could, like, I mean, and this isn't even really spoiler. They could go many different
Mhm.
directions. Like, it could be mind control. It could be human enslavement. It could be another popular one out there is kind of like season 2. We're watching 3 distinct
Mhm.
timelines this season, which itself could be a trap based on the fact that that's what they did in season
Mhm.
2, and then they're like, nah, we're fucking with you, or whatever, like, we don't know,
Right.
because we don't have all the pieces. We have a couple,
Mhm.
and we can guess that flies are bad,
Yes, and there's one
and
particular character story arc going on right now that I think kind of lends credence to the separate timelines or separate stages. I think one person isn't. It doesn't feel like they're the proper 7 years moved.
yeah, and there's some theories on that maybe it's actually 25, because I know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
Specifically because somebody was talking about a tree,
Hmm.
and from the frame of where that person was at the end of season 3 to when
Hmm.
his episode picks up in season 4, they're like, trees don't grow that fast in 7 years,
Right.
so it's got to be like 25 years.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's good stuff. Just got the text that Jessica just boarded her flight.
Oh.
Apparently it was delayed.
Wow.
So
Okay.
that's sucky.
Yes.
Since I've been home for a bit. But yeah. So yeah, no, I'm excited. I think the best thing I can say is, and I'm a person who did thoroughly enjoy season 2 and 3,
Hmm.
but I don't think they were as finely crafted as season 1. And I feel like we're kind of a little bit back to season 4 could potentially be a finely crafted
Yes.
experience again, which is what I expect and what I want from Westworld as a tinfoil hat viewer.
Yeah. I mean, I think
So,
they're doing very well with what they have, and I just
yeah.
again I hope they don't run out of time.
And we've known for a while that their plan was they had a 5-season plan
Hmm.
for Westworld. We also know that Westworld was going to be canceled in season 3, and then Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, the showrunner slash married couple who run the show,
Hmm.
they left HBO for some crazy ass Amazon deal,
Hmm.
in which the Fallout TV show was one of them, and is still happening over at Amazon with them still somehow doing. But then we also know that Warner Brothers paid a fuckload of money to get them back from Amazon
Okay.
specifically. And Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy literally said that what allowed them to come back was the money was right, and our chip on the table was, you have to let us finish Westworld.
Okay.
Like, like, you have to let us finish it, and we'll do whatever the fuck you want after that. And I was like, props to
Right.
them. So I like, awesome, so for sure, in whatever form it takes, we will get season 5 of Westworld. And actually, I heard on the podcast, I was listening on the drive back, that it's set to film already,
Nice.
this fall, which in the past with Westworld, both either between seasons or fucking pandemic,
Hmm.
we've had 1 to 2 to 3 year waits between seasons of Westworld.
And that's my
So it's a
big
little,
fear. Like, you say season 5 is coming, and it's like, but when?
true.
So,
And you don't know what the production is. One could assume, given season 3 and 4's 8-episode shorter
hmm,
run, that it'll be another 8 episodes, or
don't even fucking
you
think
know,
about it. See you eyeballing it.
what's he doing? Nate's fighting a cat on the back
Eyeballing
of
the
the
top
chair,
of the green
folks.
screen.
Does he do it?
No, but you remember that funny look that you said Nate made the funniest look? That was him climbing up my knee. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. He's a mischievous one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, so that's what's going on entertainment wise for me. I've been watching a couple of other stuff. We've been still watching For All Mankind, which has a furious pace this season. Still watching some Castle stuff with Jessica.
I got back into that one too, and that one's aging well. I've always loved that series.
I mean, I know it gets bad in the last couple of seasons, because of some onset drama between Nathan Fillion and Stana Katic. You know, I love Nathan Fillion. You know, everybody knows I'm a diehard browncoat, like literal browncoat. Have the fucking patch to prove it. You know, it's a cop show that Jessica loves, that I can tolerate because it's funny.
Right.
Like that's basically where it comes down to.
It's a comedic crime procedural.
Yeah, you know, and that's definitely something I enjoy, because I think Nathan Fillion is just fantastic at delivering that charming, funny thing that he does.
That he's still doing in Rookie.
Yeah, and I haven't watched the Rookie. I assume he's still funny and charming in that. But I don't know.
It's exactly what you expect from a Nathan Fillion, vehicle.
It's Nathan Fillion in as
right.
such and so. It's like that's what he does, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, there's not. I feel like there's not a ton of actors out there or left, so to speak, that have that special kind of charisma / charm.
It's basically Fillion like and Ryan Reynolds at this point.
Well, no, I would say, you know, Fillion, Ryan Reynolds. I would say folks like Robert Downey Jr. Or I feel like Chris Pratt has a lot of that.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and I feel like Tom Holland, Spider-Man. Like I feel like he's a good actor, and so you can buy that kind of stuff, but it doesn't necessarily have huge like confidence charm,
right?
Like some of these guys, or like a Harrison Ford type person, you know, that has just that's just like what you're seeing is what's being exuded,
right? Where Pratt is a goofball
from
off camera, right?
So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so that's entertainment. Should probably spin it.
Oh, you didn't want to talk about the Strange New Worlds now that that's all done?
Oh fuck yeah, I'm finally caught up. I totally fucking forgot about that. I finished Strange New Worlds. I'm all caught up. Finished Strange New World. What a fantastic fucking season.
Right?
I know IGN gave it a perfect 10. They're like, this was a perfect season. Like, what do you fucking want from us? It was fantastic.
Yeah, and even the one throwaway episode was still fun.
Sure.
Right?
So you said the second to last episode broke you. Did it broke you because of, I'm trying not to spoil, because of main character death? That's what broke you. Okay, because I thought it was the previous episode because you have daughters.
That too. Yeah, that was hard. Like, and it was so they gut punched me in Elysium, and then they just said, "Oh, you're still bent over and gasping for air?"
Yeah. So yeah, that was interesting.
I mean, between the character and then the character development, you know, the emotion.
Yeah, I saw it coming that, you know, that character was going to get offed. It was sad to see that particular main character get offed, especially since it seemed like the whole cast gels so fucking well. together with each other, which is not something you can say on season ones, especially as a Trekkie. I'm saying
Yeah,
this.
that was
On
that
season ones of
episode was
Star
the
Trek.
first one I actually had to go and watch Ready Room afterwards because I'm just like I need to know more.
Yeah, I didn't have the opportunity to see the Ready Room on that particular episode, but I did watch it on the finale one, and that was pretty nice. So yeah, and then of course there's the finale.
Yeah, talk about bringing it
which,
home and sticking the landing.
like, so I felt so bad because, like, sorry, I'm hearing a lot of noise coming from Brock's room,
Oh, okay.
and I'm hoping it's not bleeding through on the mic.
Oh, does he have a friend over?
I didn't have one over when
Okay,
I came
not that
home,
kind of
but
noise. Okay,
no, like loud movie noise. Or
gotcha. No, it's not coming through.
Okay, cool. I felt really bad as a Trekkie because I didn't know until I watched the Ready Room just how fucking direct adaptation it was from an original TOS, the original series Star Trek episode that they were doing in the finale. And I was like, because like the whole time I'm like, this is really good and really familiar. And I'm just like scratching my beard. I mean, I'm clean shaven now, but I had a beard a couple days ago. And I was like, I feel like I should know. Like I'm just like it's like I'm just sitting here with a beard stroke and somebody's with a toy hammer. Like every scene, and I'm just like something about. And then I saw the Ready Room where they showed like they literally like recreated shots and scenes and dialogue, and I was like, oh, I feel like a bad Trekkie right now. Like, I was like, fuck.
And it was a pivotal episode then as well.
Yeah, so. I know, that's the thing. Like as soon as they started showing it, I went, oh fuck, I now remember this TOS episode in its entirety now. But I don't know, I felt bad because I was like, it didn't click for me the entire episode, but it's just that toy hammer the whole time. Like, what is it? Scratch in the back of the noggin. Type thing.
Like if I had one complaint about this entire season so far, it would be, and it's such a half-ass complaint, but I love what they did with the Gorn. I hate the fact that they're basically aliens.
I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I think that's the catch-22 of how do you do Gorn as trumped up as these big bad villains throughout the whole season, when we know from TOS
that they're goofballs and rubber costumes.
It's a fucking throwaway Godzilla costume. Where Kirk fights him with a rock. You know,
a large piece of foam. Yes.
You know, and you might not know this, but they actually did Gorn canonically in the Kelvin timeline, the movies timeline, because there's a video game where they did them, and they did like a whole new version of them, and they were the main bad guys in that video game, and it was awesome, and they were like pretty scary actually. But you know, they had license to do that Gorn differently. Whereas here it was like babies,
right?
Predator alien babies,
basically.
You know, so I don't know. You know, I mean, they could surprise us, and they'll pull a like a Discovery Klingon type of maneuver on them in a future episode. We'll see. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I understand. Like that's a totally valid complaint. I think. Because
that's it. That's my only complaint.
Yeah.
Like that's a good track record there. If the one thing that I don't like about your show is the one thing that is so blatantly like stolen.
I mean, so my complaint is actually what's it, the episode before that with like the fairy tale stuff.
Yeah, the Elysium.
Yeah. So that episode I was like it was simultaneously like all right, this is a very classic Star Trek episode where we pull some props from another department and we
Right.
make an episode out of stuff reusing the Enterprise set, because a lot of those
Hmm.
episodes, which I totally get, and I suppose they did it better than most. Like I remember seeing Ahura's outfit in that, or Queen Ahura, or whatever the fuck she was doing in that episode, and it was like, okay, that looks a little better production than it would have been on one of those old Star Trek
Hmm.
shows if they were doing the same thing, you know. Um, but because the rest of the show is so goddamn gorgeous and expensive looking, I feel like this is like the one episode that's just like, all right, our budget for this one is the actor's salary.
Right. Well, and almost like I said, it was a good throwaway. Like it almost felt like this. Everyone just wants to do this episode, and we don't care, and we're
Sure.
gonna throw it in, and still manage to like tie it in.
Yeah, like Anson Mount's character Pike being like a little
Uh
sniveling
huh.
little
Uh huh.
shit was hilarious. Um, fucking Spock being a wizard. It's good stuff. But
Yeah.
as a whole, like I could have done with that
Yes.
episode, and that's even including the big character development that happens with the doctor and his kid
Hmm.
plot line. It just seemed odd
Yes.
to wrap that up, A, in season one, and then B, in that
Hmm.
way. I was just like, okay, that's what we're doing? I guess, sure. You know? So, I don't know. So did you want to talk about the elephant in the room that I'm sure most people on the internet know about by now, even though it was like a sidestep, ha 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 kind of moment where we have a Captain James T. Kirk
Hmm.
in this series. So what did you think about that? And the actor and the way that was played out?
That's tough because I didn't like the actor. I didn't like the portrayal of Kirk. Um, and there's some hand waviness that the reason he got the hubris and the moxie that he has was because of his assignment to the Enterprise as opposed to being just another captain on a fleet ship.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, so it's interesting. So I didn't hate how he looked as an actor,
mhm.
like playing, young Shatner, basically. I didn't even really hate how like his voice sounded, or anything like that.
Mhm.
But like there was only like tiny touches of Kirkness,
Right.
and I think that and it's so difficult, right? Because like how difficult is it stepping into the shoes of one of the most famous science fiction characters? That's one of the things that I really like about, and I'm forgetting the actor's name, unfortunately. The Spock that we have.
Hmm.
I feel like the way that he was introduced in Discovery and how he was built as a character in there, and by the time we got to Star Trek New Worlds, like A, he embodied Spock, and B, I feel like I almost like this Spock better than
Zachary
um,
Quinto.
Zachary Quinto's Spock. And the cat just fucking
Oh,
stabbed
fucking
Nate in the
God.
back.
I love you.
Now throw him out the window.
No, we don't yeet cats on camera. We don't yeet cats off camera, but we definitely don't yeet them on camera. There's a wholesale market of streamers that have gotten away with that one.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing we don't publish the videos, yeah?
Kitten
Least
being
yet.
kitten.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, and unfortunately, he's locked in the room here. That's, yeah.
Well, that sucks. I'm sorry.
Cool.
So I feel like this new actor does Spock better than Zachary Quinto. And I thought Zachary Quinto, I liked him before he was Spock as Xyler on Heroes, and I was like, yeah, that's fucking Spock. Like he looks the part, he sounds the part, he's embodying it correctly. And then of course, he's the only actor now to get Spock coaching from
Spock,
the
yeah.
real Spock, Leonard Nimoy, before he passed. You know, um, and so for this new actor to, in my mind, and maybe it's Star Trek sacrilege to say this, like, do Spock better than Zachary Quinto? Like, I'm like, yeah, he's fucking earned his right to be Spock
Right.
in my mind. Like I look at him, like I don't even think about him as an actor. Like, yep, there's Spock, you know, and you know the way that this Kirk was shown in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, with the hey, this is an alternate timeline Spock, or not Spock, Kirk,
Right.
you know, who never became captain of the Enterprise but became captain of a different ship. And so I'll allow them to do that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I don't think it was as successful as our Spock, you know. And there was a story about this actor who played Kirk, whose name I don't know, where he was flying to the audition for Kirk, and he was literally sitting next to William Shatner.
Just
Like that's a real story.
Right. Not
that
just
even,
coincidentally.
I mean, it was coincidental.
Okay.
It wasn't planned at all. Like, Shatner was doing something up in Canada, and this actor who was going to play the part, like, was like, "Hey, this is gonna be weird." But I'm literally flying to an audition
To do you. Yeah.
to play Kirk. And so I know that they've talked, and that was a weird thing because Shatner and Chris Pine did not talk about how to play Kirk.
Right.
I don't think they talked until after the third movie or something, and even then, that was on like a. I think that was on that documentary where William Shatner was going around interviewing all the captains.
Right.
And then they met Chris Pine, and he's like, "Yeah, this is so weird interviewing you because we didn't meet for while you were playing Kirk for 3 movies."
Right. And it's Paul,
You know,
Paul
very
Wesley
odd.
is the actor.
Paul Wesley,
Yes.
yes,
Known from The
who
Vampire
most
Diaries.
people will recognize as one of the leads in Vampire Diaries, which is really weird when you say that. But you know, we've got a vampire man who's now Batman, so whatever, I guess. Yeah, so I think he can look, and I think he can do the part. And my understanding, even with the Ready Room, you know, they're like, yeah, just play it however you want. We'll throw a couple of Kirkisms in because we want this to be a different Kirk.
Right.
And the reason I say this is playing with fire is because, and I don't know if you know this, he will be a regular on season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the end of the episode, he's like, I need Kirk assigned to my Enterprise.
Right.
From Captain Pike's perspective. So, you know, we'll see, you know, like I just hope he gels super well with the rest of the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Your camera blipped, by the way.
Oh, yours has been doing it.
To make sure.
Yeah.
Oh, has it? Okay. Well, everything's still rolling on my end. So I'll just say funny things about it, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. I'm skeptical. Uh-oh,
what?
My antivirus just popped up on its own. Okay. There alert here.
Or was this scheduled and you're never really at your computer at this time? Kind of like your fridge turning off when we do oddball, or turning back on when we do oddball podcast times.
Let me just see what it says.
But yeah, no, like the actor himself, like
yes, they are scheduled at 11.
Yeah, I don't feel Kirk from him. And yeah, I watched the Ready Room on that one, and again, the little hand wavy was he didn't get the moxie and whatnot from being on was it the Farragut that he was captaining?
Whatever the fuck it was.
And I do feel like Anson Mount's portrayal of Pike is more Kirk.
So much more Kirk.
Yeah, it's more Kirk than.
I feel the same thing.
Wow, mother trucker.
You're just getting attacked by that cat.
No, that was myself. I whacked the mic.
We see the wild Nate locked in a green screen room with a wild cat The cat appears upset.
The cat is winning. He heard my review on
Fair enough.
Thundercats and went, "No, this shall not be
Daniel,
allowed."
it's my favorite program.
But yeah, no, this Captain Pike is very much Kirk. Like, the Kirkisms are there, so maybe that's where they're going with it in season 2, is that he'll pick up those mannerisms and personality. So
that's a good point.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, hope so.
We'll see. I hope we don't just get saturated with it. And
yeah. So yeah, he's gonna be the man. Is that gonna work or is it not gonna work? Because it's still kind of up in the air. We'll see. I mean, one would think, given how they found this Spock, that this dude's screen test probably fucking blew them away.
Sure.
Right? Like, one would think, like, you can't cast willy-nilly.
Right.
On, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's inarguably the most famous Star Trek captain.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like,
sure. Probably the second most important character to the series other than Spock.
Yeah. Right? Quite literally. And yeah.
So, yeah, this could go well. This could, we'll see one too. But yeah, that nailed the first season. Happy with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love Strange New Worlds. Also, man, that fucking main theme, I cannot get out of my fucking head, and I'm pissed that the album is not on. Like, I've been listening to the goddamn main theme on fucking YouTube for a while now. The fucking bass line in that shit, especially with my fucking HX system, I'm like, yeah. It's so delicious. Yeah, and then the score itself is fucking fantastic. So good. And it's so funny because the gal who which I think might be the first female Star Trek composer ever,
Nami Melamad.
Yeah, however you say her name.
Yes.
I don't know. Because she does Star Trek Prodigy, the kid but serious animated one, not the comedy one. And she did a really amazing job with that, but it's also kind of like its own thing. Whereas, like, this feels like a fucking...
She was a composer for Love and Thunder.
Big... That's weird, because it's composed by Michael Giacchino.
She's credited.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think she's great.
Yeah.
I feel like Star Trek has I can't pronounce her name, and then Star Wars and Marvel have the gal who did Loki, and she did Obi-Wan and that stuff.
Yes.
I can't remember names right now. And it's like, dang, like, these composers are really good, and like, as a big composer guy, I'm gonna have my eyes on these ladies as they evolve in their career, because it's just like, fuck, man, music's so good. So good. And this is not to say that, like, Discovery had bad music or anything. That guy's been composing a long time. I also can't remember his name right now. But he's been doing, like, all of the Treks since Discovery.
Right.
He did, like, House of Cards, and he's done a fuck ton of TV. So he's very good. But I feel like this lady composer nails it more, I guess.
Right.
Just for my book.
And again, just doing doing day-to-day TV stuff, you can be good, but there's no, like, Star Trek, there's a reverence towards certain things on there.
Sure.
The theme is going to be like, you have to hit that right. If you get that wrong, you could be good. If you get that wrong, it's a stain.
Well, and so and I'm gonna butcher this because I'm bad at music theory, but I saw someone describing the brilliance of the Star Trek Strange New World theme as it's the same theme with a little different instrumentation as the original TOS theme, but it's in a different
Mm-hmm.
key that's lower, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right, it is
And
YouTube
and
person
it's
I'm
not
listening
just
to.
it's like a harmonic below. It's not right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just we're gonna
Yeah,
take this and reduce it one octave and
yeah. um yeah, but and I think the thing about it too is, like, much like Pike, the show is so fucking confident
mm-hmm.
in itself, like, and I think that that's something that's missing from some of the episodes of, like, Discovery and Picard,
Mm-hmm.
where they're a little more trepidatious, and this is like, yo, buckle up.
Right. There's
Like,
definitely a more
you know.
yeehaw in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, and it's so funny because, like, I know a lot of Trek people, like, hate the J.J. Abrams movies, or the Kelvin timeline as it's called, for that yeehaw. And, like, to that I'll say, like, you know what though? But the original Toss was a little
It was a lot yeehaw.
yeehaw.
Ay,
Like,
motherfucker.
it was only Next Gen where the yeehaw got reduced
And the
and then
well,
eventually came
and the
back up.
the cinematic, the toss
Yeah.
cinematic, I guess, lost some of
Mhm.
that yeehaw. Some of it.
A little bit, yeah. Especially some of the later movies. Well, of course, the first movie,
First movie,
obviously.
no yeehaw. The yeehaw didn't start to come
But there
back
was
until
yeehaw
Save the Whales. Yeah,
in Wrath of Khan,
some.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, but anyway. All right,
spin it.
Coffin. Yep. All right. I was like, Nail and Coffin Entertainment. Let's do it. Where's the fucking?
Yeah, if we don't want to do a 5-hour episode, we better.
Yeah, I don't.
What did it come as? Come up as?
Fucking the same goddamn thing. Hang on. Same goddamn thing. Come on. All right. Life stories. Fire. Okay. So, yeah. There's some. What in the fuck? I don't think I fucking. Oh no, this is complain about fuel prices. Okay. Life stories. Go. Hit us, Nate.
So yeah, if you haven't heard me cursing and screaming, I have a kitten now that I'm hoping to not continue to have a kitten. This was the wife loves to bring animals home and says, "Look, they love you. We want to keep them," and that's how I end up with. I already have 4 cats. I don't need a fifth. But yeah, the reason he's isolated in the office, one, because he was a stray. We had to have him. He doesn't have his shots or anything like that, and he actually has a little bit of a case of mange, which medication is coming in on that. Two, the third boy, he'd be the third boy in the house of the cats, and my second one is already just like, nah, not having this, and he's just gonna get absolutely wrecked because the boy is already tearing through the girls in the house. They're coming up with spots and marks and scratches that I'm not real thrilled with. So yeah, cat in the office, which I swear, if one of my cords gets chewed through, I might not have a wife again.
Fair enough.
So
How's your work sit?
work sucks. Absolutely sucks. My boss is gone. They still haven't hired his replacement. We pretty much know at this point who it is. Yeah, you can squash rumors for so long, but yeah, word has gotten out. I know who the replacement is, and he's a decent guy. At least he knows the system. He doesn't necessarily know our department, but the manager in my department doesn't need to. So he just needs to know how to direct the flow of traffic and then report the numbers back and forth. So the guy that's coming in, as it was a former manager of 2 other departments, already knows how that system works. So that should be a nice, smooth transition. And then, yeah, I probably won't meet him until somewhere in September because I'm probably going to be back on night shifts starting August 8th. So put that in the back of your head for future show planning.
Has that affected our show planning before? What did we do last time?
Not so much. Yeah, well, I think. Well, were we on a Friday schedule at one point in time, and I couldn't do that because I was working that Saturday swing. I don't know, but yeah,
We'll figure it out.
yeah, we always do.
Okay.
So
Point in case today.
correct. Yeah, so
Anything else
something like this
happen?
won't be as reliable. Like moving to this time slot will be reliable when I'm doing that graveyard stuff because yeah, this will be sleepy time for Nate.
Fair enough.
Um, other than that, yeah, like same old crap. My girls are gonna go back to school soon. Kids about to start first grade or kindergarten. And I don't know, like my girls fly in the coop kind of thing. Just it's that when they're in daycare, I know where they are. I know everything's okay. And then with everything going on in society these days, just my kid running around in a school without
Hmm.
mom, dad, or someone right there, they're just another kid in a classroom. It's working my anxiety up.
Hmm.
So I'm
Not
having a little
good.
trouble with it. Um, because yeah, it's just things have gotten ugly. And fortunately for her, she's going to be going to the school that my sister-in-law teaches at, so she'll at least have someone close. But it's just yeah, like it, their lives have changed and they're growing up, and I like as much as I may want to keep it from happening, it's gonna keep happening. I gotta grin and bear it. Um, so yeah, I'll be having a discussion with my GP. What is today? The 17th. So in 3 days,
17th.
yeah, in 3 days, I'm
Yeah.
going to my GP to work on getting the snip. And then we're going to talk about, possibly getting me on some sort of mood stabilizers, for lack of a better term, and
Okay.
see if I can, get some of this anxiety impression under check. Because, yeah, it's it's catching up to me, and I'm starting to make some dumb decisions and falling back on some old habits. Which
Yeah.
lead me to wake up feeling very shitty the next day.
Hmm.
So,
I see.
yeah.
I see. Well, I wish you luck with
Mhm.
that, and I'm a phone call or a FaceTime link away.
Always, yes.
Oh wow, your camera froze in a really weird spot there. You're like,
Burp.
life's been holy fuck, man. Um, I'm not gonna talk a lot about what's going on with me and the wife right now. That's an off air thing. But there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's happening there, and you know, um, yeah, I'm like I actually opened up to her dad about it yesterday, and he's actually helping with it, which is fantastic. Um, I've been talking to a friend of mine that's a minister. I've been talking to people.
You're having the
It's just,
conversations, right?
I mean, I'm trying
Yeah.
to, it's just hard having conversations when there's just like constant fighting.
Mhm.
And the last like handful of days have been like super stellar, actually. Like easy sailing for now. And like we were mid castle last night, like at like 10, and we had paused. And I went to the bathroom and I came back and I sat down and I sighed deeply. And like it was just a fucking sigh. And then she would not let it go. She's like, "What's wrong? What's going on?" And I was just like, "It's not like whatever you're reading into that sigh. It's not important right now. What's important right now is watching this show and us going to bed and getting to the airport on time.
Right.
We have stuff we're working on, like let it go right now.
Right.
Like, this is the wrong time, form, and place to have another one of these
knock down, drag
that
out.
have
Yeah.
been weekly occurrences at this point.
Yeah.
Um, so and she's going through a lot right now. Like in terms of life. I dropped her off at the airport this morning because she's going to a funeral down in Cali,
Mm-hmm.
and that's happening tomorrow. You know, and that's a big deal because she never got down there to see her grandmother passed away July 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
She stopped. She'd had advanced stages Alzheimer's for a long time and was in a home, and was supposed. Doctor said that she wasn't going to live longer than 6 months 5 years ago, kind of thing.
Right.
And then July 2nd, she stopped eating, and then it's not very long after that.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, it's that, you always have that, what is it, survivor's guilt,
hang on. This
tomorrow, bet your bottom dollar that, there we go. Yeah, you get
We don't
that. You
do
get
sun
that
here.
survivor's guilt where it's like, I should have gone down and seen him one last time, even though you were given 6 months
Yeah.
that turned into 5 years. But you still like, well, I should have gotten down there. I should have been bedside. I should have said I should have done and yeah, that never goes away.
Well, it's like the same thing as like my grandma's 90th last summer. Um, making sure that I went down there for that, and then talked to her on the phone here recently in June when she sent us like a fuck ton of money because she cashed out her IRAs. And then that set off the alarm with all the cousins, like, okay, you getting ready to check out, grandma? Because she's in reasonably good health, other than being 90,
Right.
about to be 91 here. And I told her, I promised, I'd come over and visit this summer, me and Jessica. I just don't fucking know when, because it's just been a fucking shit show June and July here, and then I've been complaining about my product not showing up for work. Like, all my products showed up for work this last Monday, but some of it's damaged, so I got to do quality control
Right.
on this product that I shouldn't have to do quality control on. And and I was freaking out about it and stuff, and like, okay, we got to do this, and we got to get this done for this client, we got to get this done for this client, and thankfully, uh
Fucking,
work member, even though he
those
hasn't been on in a
dogs are
while.
going at it, aren't they?
Fucking Christ. Yep. Well, it's 1:12 on a Sunday, so they're very much awake, I guess. I don't know. Fucking ridiculous. So thankfully, my work partner and living partner here, Brock, was like, all right, dude, like, take a chill pill. Think about it this way. Yes, these other jobs could be fucked up. We don't know if this pile of 19 units is fucked up yet. Dig out the two units that we need right now for tomorrow's job and make sure they're good, and we'll fucking deal with the rest as it fucking comes. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Even like we were planning Monday's stuff, and I was like, fuck, we gotta do this. And I was like, but I gotta check all these units, but it's gonna take me like 3 hours a unit. I gotta pull the unit, I gotta put it on a test bed, I gotta run it through the parameters, I gotta do all these things, and he's like, bro, chill. There's two of us. And I was like, oh yeah. He's like, I'll take the work van, I'll go do the 2 service calls that need to get done. You fucking stay in the shop and just fucking power through it, man. I was like, yeah, you're right, man. You're right. So it's been that plus life plus again Daniel's abandoning me for the East Coast here soon, and so we're all, despite all of the uh, things going on between me and the wife right now, like, we were over at their house last weekend, and obviously I've been talking to him a lot and stuff because he's also having a lot of problems with his wife
because it happens.
Whatever, and both me and him were like, because it was his birthday this last week, and so we went over to play poker and blackjack and Texas Hold'em with him and his brother-in-laws. And like the fighting had continued for both mine and his wife's, and we were texting each other. I was like, cool, on our way. And he's like, cool, happy to put on a fake smile for you as we play and pretend nothing's wrong in front of our wives. I was like, right. So,
yeah, it's like and that's the worst thing you can do. Like, just
what else are you supposed to do?
Oh, actually fix things?
Well, I'm working on stuff, but that takes two to tango. And to give credit on her part, she's been super stressed at work. She's in a new position where she's senior over a bunch of people, where she wasn't senior over them before, and so she's having a hard time, getting them to do work and not walk off the job. And then on top of that, the grandma dying, and then on top of that, our own personal problems, and it's just like, and then on top of that, like it was Shark Week, and it's like,
right.
I'll like that fucking sucks for me, but like let's get through this particular extra bit of hurricane storm, and so I'm hoping, she's going to be gone for the next 4 days here, and she's totally off work this week. So I'm hoping, going back home, seeing all of her family she hasn't seen in like 7 years.
Right.
Hopefully the funeral's not too rough, and hopefully it's just, a day of sadness, and then hopefully lots of fucking tacos or whatever the fuck. There will be tacos. She's talking about, oh, I hope we're gonna go to this place. We're gonna go to this place. And she gets her fucking stupid fucking In-N-Out burger garbage.
Do I need to have to go find her and take her out for a double?
Maybe. Although I think it's a pretty decent drive from where you're located at. Yeah, but no, she's with her whole family. Luckily her brother was able to get off work, so it'll be her whole family that's up here plus all the family that is down there, which is pretty much all of them.
Nice.
So, at least that's good. And like I said, I did open up to my father-in-law about it, and to his credit, he's like, fucking totally get it, man. Like, I'll do what I can while she's gone with us. And I was like, that's an awesome response. So yeah, so there's that. And then I didn't actually click on my life category. I'm pretty sure I put life category. Did I not write things in this? I feel
no, I don't think you did, because we got Burning Wing stuff, but that's about it.
It's fucking stupid. I think I put a thing about Best Buy in technology. I'll save that for technology. What's the other life thing?
Well, there was something you wanted me to remind you to bring up.
Yeah.
Did it have to do with the dogs?
Oh, yes. Yeah. So I was out grilling last Sunday, actually. Because I was doing... what was I doing? I was doing a ribeye on the grill. Which it turned out okay. It caught fire. I accidentally had a grease fire. But so what happened was, because this is a combo story, is so when I was at Daniel's the day before for this poker night, which, by the way, I've never really been taught these poker games and played them, and so he taught me that. And I fucking won at all of them. And I was like, oh my god, sure. I'm great at blackjack and Texas Hold'em and poker. This is great. Much to the chagrin of everybody at the table. I do believe Jess's comment was, how the fuck are you winning? I'm the one good at math.
because they're all overthinking. That's the one time I won a Hold'em tourney with my friends was it was my bachelor party. And I was just like, I'm here to just get freaking hammered, enjoy some good food, and play some cards with my boys. And like I wasn't overthinking
that
it,
was
and
all the cards
were and all the cards were going my way for whatever reason. I won so many hands off the river. It was like people were like, how do you keep getting the right card? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, why are you even still in this hand? Because I don't care. Like a smart man would have folded on the flop, and I'm just like, no, I'm in it. I'll stick around, and oh look, I win again.
I just did some fucking wacky. I did some wacky ass shit. I'd go all in on a pair, some shit, and then they'd be looking at me, and I guess I have a good poker face, or at the very least, many faces, so it's hard to tell. And they're like, "Fuck, I don't know if you're lying to me or if you've really got a good hand, because sometimes you've had a good hand,
right?"
And it's like, I don't know, who's to say, man?
Right. With the luck I'm getting, who knows? I could bust a friggin' straight flush on the river.
And they would fucking fold. Yeah, one of them folded on a straight flush, and I had a pair. And he's like, "You went fucking all in on a fucking pair."
Oh, you never.
I guess
you never show your cards. If everyone folds out, you don't have to show your cards. You know that, right?
Oh, I don't know. That's what it was in the rules from the set that we were working off of. So Daniel's wife got him like a poker set for his birthday, and big, attaché case looking thing.
Yeah,
with the chips and stuff, and that's what it said in the rules was at the end you reveal cards.
Yes, if it's you reveal cards if it's in debate, right? You got to see who wins, so you got to show your cards. But if everyone folds, you don't have to show your cards because they all folded.
Fair enough. I don't know. That was the whole thing. We did that. I think I preferred regular poker and Texas Hold'em poker over blackjack.
Yeah, blackjack's just it's too much chance, and you're playing against the house. You're not even playing against the guy next to you.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. Like, and I told him then, I was like, I can see why this is good, but the excitement of it would be if we were playing with real money.
Right.
Like, because like playing against a house at somebody's house and there's no stakes.
Right.
Okay, whatever. It's like, cool, I'm winning against the dealer, la da da.
Right.
But then playing at poker, it's like, yeah, taking other people down.
Right.
Like, let's go.
Blackjack would be like PvE, doing a raid. And then but Hold'em, that's some PvP shit.
Yeah, it was good. It's good. I had a good time.
Yeah.
I won. It was great. So the reason sidestep to that was because I think it came up in conversation that I was talking to Daniel about, like, because he got me the gas grill, right? And I was talking about, like, well, I think I want to do some smoker stuff in it, but I don't really know what I need to do with a gas grill. And then Daniel was like, oh, you just use a smoker box, bro. And I was like, what the fuck is a smoker box? And he's like, I actually have a second one, and I don't need two. So he fucking gives me a smoker box and some of his wood chips. And he's like, yeah, you just fucking put this in, you do this with it. And I was like, oh, well, okay then. And so I was going to do smoked ribeye steaks on Sunday. And so I was in the middle of putting my smoker box in the grill wrongly. I didn't know this until I watched a couple more YouTube videos, right? And because I was setting it like directly on the grate and like in the back and like a hot spot and whatnot. And then apparently there's like two different forms of thought on like if you have like a specific box, like either having them wet for 30 minutes or having them not wet and whatnot. And so then I think I had just watched the video where I needed to put the smoker box in between one of the sets of burners, like on top of them, but below the grate. At least that's what the videos were showing me. And once I did do that, I was able to get it smoking. And so I got it smoking, and then my neighbor came over, which was a little odd because he started off the conversation with like, hey, I've been trying to get a hold of you for a couple of days. I've been like knocking and stuff. You guys don't answer your door. And I was like, okay. Because like I know we have like our phone numbers for each other and like text. Because like we've texted each other about shit. I was like, and I thought that, but I decided not to say like, well, you could have texted. Like we have
Right.
that. And I'm busy. So but I didn't. So it's like, okay, cool. What's up? And he's like, hey, so like the other day, like dogs broke the fence and then they escaped. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, did you find them? He's like, yeah, we got them all back, but like the back of your fence is like broken. And I was like, oh shit, I had no idea. I was like, where? And he's like, oh, it's like in the corner. I don't think you have windows there. He's like, but like, don't worry, like I'm gonna fix it. I just want to let you know, like I might be working on this side of the fence, fixing it. And I was like, oh, no problem. And then we went over and we took a look, and then sure enough, these fucking dogs had dug a hole in a corner of the fence, then busted 3 of the boards, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, your dogs are fucking crazy. And he's like, yeah, fucking tell me about it, man. You know? And I was like, it's fucking nuts. And I was like, yeah, man, like, let me know if you need anything or something, dude. Like, and he's like, yeah, okay. So yeah, that'd be the dogs. Like they're fucking clearly just way too much energy and like no way to bed. They need like a goddamn field or something. I actually don't even know what kind of dogs my neighbor has. I just know it has what sounds like 3 of them.
There are three very
Yeah.
distinct barks going on there.
Yeah, like obviously different barks. So yeah, so I had that going on, and then by the time that happened, I was just throwing the ribeyes on. I had the smoker going. I was feeling good about the smoke. Um, and then I had them in on one side, and I hadn't flipped the ribeye yet. And then I noticed that my temperature was like 900 degrees. I was like, oh fuck. Right? And I was like, hold up. This should be like 350 at
Yeah.
best. And then I opened the grill, and sure enough, like fucking everything was on fire. And I was like, oh shit. But thankfully, I had gotten toolkits, so I had my water spray bottle prepared and stuff. And so I was like fucking trying to get it under the grill and get the fucking shit under control, get the hot spots where the fucking oil had flipped off and whatnot. So I had grease fire, charred, smoked ribeye at night.
How'd you cook it? In a kiln?
I prefer immolation. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, so it was like fucking black on one side of the steak.
Uh-huh.
And then the other side was cooked correctly. So I had like, so because of how it went, I had like fucking all the temperatures of steak in one steak. So it was like fucking charcoal to like well done to medium rare to like rare, like going into the center. Like I cut it open, I took a picture of it. I should probably send it. It was just wild looking. It was like fucking
high heat will do that.
steak.
Because you basically you didn't cook the middle, you seared the outside.
Oh yeah, it was seared all right. Fucking so it ended up okay. Jessica said she actually really liked it. I thought because of the insane temperature differences that I like. Pretty sure I fucked the seasoning, and the smoke was not as noticeable as obviously the charred side. So whatever. It's a learning process. Just trying to.
Well, I have to ask you, did you click the tongs 3 times?
Click the tongs
3 times.
3 times.
Yes.
For luck, for neuroses, for what?
Yeah, no, that's just the rules. You got to pick up the tongs and click them 3. That was the problem. See?
Okay.
You pick up the tongs, you click them 3 times, and everything's good. You're a grill master at that point.
I'll give it a go. I'm on my own for the next couple of days, so chances are high I'll probably at least cook a burger. Although I have burgers down, like I must say, like my burger grilling is fucking perfected. I don't need to change anything that I'm doing on it. I'm fucking very happy with my burger grilling. So
I'm good
it's
with
like all
grilling
the
them.
other
I'm bad
things,
putting the patties together.
putting them together, like
Yes.
doing a double stack.
No, like actually making the ground beef into patties,
Oh,
right?
yeah. See, now that I have not done on my own, because I've
Do
seen,
you
like, I
just do
watched
the
some
the
Gordon
the
Ramsay
peel and stick patties? Yeah.
Yeah, I do the Kirkland
Yes. Peel and stick patties.
Blue Label special from Frozen.
Yeah.
um, but I have it down, so like it fucking tastes fantastic to
Right.
me.
You got the
Um,
timing of where flip,
y-
flip, flip, done.
yeah, yeah, I got the timing. I've edited my notes. I've curated it, so I've got that down. I've got that down to a science now. But yeah, no, I'm still like I'm doing better with steaks on the grill, but like I just feel like because the grill's so much larger than the last one, um, by like a factor of 10.
Right.
Like just like getting everything just right is it's simultaneously easier and difficult because like the things that I knew would work on the small grill don't work on the big grill.
Yes.
So like yeah, so it's just getting that stuff down. I'll get it eventually. It just kind of makes me mad because I'm like, this probably could have been better. This basic bitch New York steak could have been better.
Yeah. And ribeye
Like
ain't cheap these days.
like
What are you paying for it up there? Like $38 a pound now, or
oh fuck no, we got one for like $9
oh, okay,
for a twofer and a pack.
nice.
Fuck no. That's insane if you're paying that much down there
Well,
for a
for
fucking
certain, for
ribeye,
some
man.
cuts, maybe not a ribeye.
Sure. So yeah, so I don't know. I'm working on it. Just takes time. Nate is wincing in intense pain. He's holding up his cat. He's giving him the middle finger to the cat. The cat's just being held in one hand, like, what, bruh? What's up? He's just fucking holding the cat. The cat's like, what the fuck? Let me down.
Fucking cats. Fucking
Yeah,
kittens.
don't have them. that
It's
would
like
that
children
would
all
be
over again.
the solution.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so I think that's any other life things happen. Oh, well, we had all of our house repairs done finally. That happened the Monday when I got all my fucking units
Mm-hmm.
in. So kitchen sink's finally fixed. Fucking master bed, bathrooms. My sink now actually fucking drains. My toilet flushes consistently now. Fucking fan works. The garage door's fixed. The rat hole is hopefully fixed. What else is fucking fixed? Bunch of shit's fixed. I'm still overloading my breaker in this room when I run the AC. And apparently, sometimes if I'm only running um, my Xbox, my TV, and my gaming PC to stream, apparently that is too much
Mm-hmm.
in the heat. So that sucks. I still want to get electrical done over here and get a dedicated outlet
Right.
for the AC that's to my right. But
Or
I
at
don't know,
least,
with all of the shit.
dedicated 20 amp to the room.
Yeah,
Because you're
you
probably sharing the same circuit with, your office there and your
Nope.
no?
Mm-mm.
It's got its own
No,
breaker?
so this room is directly above the double port of the garage. And so the only thing this shares is the garage outlets that are directly below
Oh,
me.
cool.
And those don't have anything in them.
Right. And if they do,
Except
it
for like
means you're not in your
a
office anyways.
DeWalt battery charger. Yeah. So the office is fine. I think Brock's bathroom's on its own breaker. Brock and his kids' room are on the same breaker, but that's not the same breaker as the office, which is directly below him.
Gotcha.
So yeah, no, it's just this fucking end of the house. That's just too much.
Yeah.
Because the breaker is like right below me, basically. Um, it just sucks because it fucking, um, and the router's in here, so everything goes out, and I gotta turn everything back on. Gotta turn things on slowly. Gotta let the router come back on, and then of course, because I have a mesh network, because the house hates Wi-Fi signals, then I gotta reset the mesh network once the Wi-Fi is back on, so that I can fucking, because I have all my RGB lights, I can fucking turn the lights on in the goddamn bedroom.
Oh, I just entered that
Just
foray.
sucks.
I picked up a 3-pack of Hughes for
Hey, I
yeah.
know everything. Ask me anything. I know everything.
I know you do.
Which model did you get?
The 3-pack of
'Cause
Hughes.
that matters.
Just basic bitch Hughes. We got them on Prime Day.
Bluetooth?
Yes, with Bluetooth. No speakers.
Okay. Yeah, good. Those are the ones that you want, by the way. You don't want the previous model that doesn't have Bluetooth, because they are a little finickier.
Right.
So you're doing just Bluetooth for now?
They're
Like you don't have a hub?
They're hubbed to my Alexas. So they found.
So then, not really. Then is the answer.
Well, the Alexa pucks have Bluetooth to them, so they're not Wi-Fi to them. They're actually Bluetooth to them.
Right, but they use a Zigbee radio.
Do they?
Yes.
Okay.
So, to clarify for people, as did we just want to fucking move into tech and we'll do games last?
Sure, why not?
Moving into tech, executive decision, it's made.
Yeah, Bluetooth and Zigbee compatible. Yes.
Yes. So the ones that you have, so I have 2 Bluetooths of those, probably the same model you have.
These are the A19 E26.
Google A19 E26.
Yes. LED smart bulb, Bluetooth, Zigbee, weird shaped.
Are they they're kind of flatter on the end on the cone? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So those are the good ones.
Good.
So those are good. The older ones are more finicky. The Bluetooth ones are good because you can control them either Bluetooth or through the Wi-Fi hub.
Which I do not have.
And then I would make sure as fuck that their firmware is updated, by the way. So I hope you have they should have 3 Hue apps. They have one for the hub, they have one for the Zigbee radio, and then they have one for the Bluetooth.
Okay.
So you probably are fine with just the Bluetooth app. But updating those on Bluetooth is going to suck because Bluetooth is slow.
Right.
Just leave your fucking phone nearby and hope your cat or your kid doesn't run away with your phone for like an hour.
It's only for mobiles? The Hue app?
Yes.
Because
I don't believe they have a desktop. Yeah. So you'll need that stuff installed on your phone. If you do expand into more hues, you 100% want a Hue hub.
Yes.
Because it just runs everything better than the Bluetooth could. Even though they're on basically a Gen 2 Plus hub. Do not get tricked into getting an older hub. It's a bad time. And even then, I think the Gen 2 Plus hub is like fucking 2015 tech, and I wish it was a little better.
Fair. Oh, there's a sync desktop.
But other than that, I've been very happy with my Hue lights.
Good. Yeah, we got them. We got them because we're going
happy.
to be doing some Pavlovian experiments on my kids.
You're gonna have to explain that to me like I'm 5.
Okay. So my wife, and her infinite wisdom and reading up and studying child behavioral science, being one being a teacher, her sister also being a teacher of the kindergarten to elementary school age. They're always like reading up on stuff. It's
Okay.
basically how to hack your kids. And
Okay.
some kids don't respond well to being directly told things. Um, they want empirical evidence. Like my kids know
Okay.
how to read a clock, but they don't know the
Uh-huh.
significance of the little hand. Right?
Oh,
They know the
okay.
big hand. So
I mean, that's half the
right.
battle.
So certain things
Well,
like they're supposed to
third of
be
the
in
battle.
bed by 8 is great,
Uh-huh.
but I can't tell them that until it's actually hit 8. They have to exceed that barrier for me to go, "Look, it's 8. You should have been in bed already." Because
Yeah.
prior to that everything is 7 to them. So we're using the hue lights and routines in our Alexas to start giving them visual cues that things are about to start happening. So at 6:45, the hue lights will turn yellow, indicating it's shower time.
Mm. See, I was already thinking, okay, oh yeah, you'll do color control,
Yep,
you'll do different colors, like a red flash 5 minutes before bedtime or
right.
something.
Well, we can't go that granular with flashing and whatnot with the Alexa app with the routines, but it can turn it red.
You should be able to do it with the Bluetooth app.
Yes, but not through
Don't
Alexa.
quote
Yeah,
me on
but
that. Some of
not
the
with
more
Alexa.
complex patterns, I believe, are reserved for the hub.
Yeah. Yeah, the Alexa is
But
definitely not doing it. But yeah, it's enough that again those routines can so we're trying to hack the kids and it seems to be working so
nice.
far. Like they saw it and they're like, "Oh, okay, and now you can't argue with me." Right? This is empirical. This happens every time or every
Mm-hmm.
day at the same time.
Yeah, it's solid.
So,
Yeah, I like that
yeah.
idea. I will totally do that when I have a kid. And hopefully even the tech will be even better by the time that
Oh yeah.
occurs. But yeah, no, the Bluetooth ones have been pretty solid. They're about 2-3 years old tech, but they've done wonders with them on
Mhm.
firmware on them. Again, I want a new fucking hub. Like, so here's the thing on their hub. The hub second generation plus or whatever the fuck it's called, um, is fantastic and works fantastic 90% of the time.
Okay.
Uh, if your power goes out, you have to manually reset it, which is annoying as fuck. Or like my for instance, because the Wi-Fi goes out, I have to manually reset it, which is annoying as fuck.
Gotcha.
It is easy to reset, either with a giant fucking button on it, or unplug it, plug it back in.
Mhm.
But it's still annoying that I have to do that when, at the very least, with the Bluetooth bulbs, I could just reset them from there, or flick the light switch on and off to reset them.
Sure.
It is odd to me that the hub is old and the Bluetooth bulbs are new, and I don't know why they don't have a new one, other than the fact that they're probably making money off of a bazillion hubs they made,
Right.
perhaps. Um, but yeah, no, I've had really good times with the Hue bulbs. Um, the Bluetooth ones have been above and beyond, in my opinion. They are expensive, but their color range and their ability and their luminosity is pretty
Yes.
pretty fucking up there.
Yeah,
They're
ours are
pretty
60
fucking great.
watters and I mean, they get bright.
Yeah, they can get bright if you choose the correct pattern.
But yeah, we
Yeah.
ended up getting them on Prime Day because it was like a 3-pack was 70 something
Fuck,
bucks.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
God damn it, I should have done it. I resisted Prime Day, by the way.
I did
I
too.
wanted to. I saw this fucking 14 terabyte, 3.5-inch NAS hard drive for like $109, and I was like, I want it. Do I need it? But I want it. Do I need it? But I want it. Oh.
You ever need it? No. Do you always want it? Yes.
Well, I could need it.
You could make a need for it, sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I resisted Prime Day, um, which in hindsight was kind of dumb, because I have to order a lot of vitamins and supplements and stuff to stay regular and
Mhm.
whatnot with all of my fucking body problems. And I just ordered them all yesterday, and I was like, "Fuck, I should have done this on Prime Day." I don't know. I was thinking, like, I probably could have got some of these for half off or some shit. No, the only thing got on Prime Day was a SanDisk Extreme portable SSD to replace a failing um, 2 terabyte Western Digital Passport hard drive time machine
Right.
for the work computer. Speaking of work, me and Brock were finally fed up with our spinning hard drives on my 2010 laptop, which formerly recorded this show, and then the 2012 iMac. And we bit the bullet and we got ourselves, coming mid-August, so I'll have full reports, hands-on with that then. We got ourselves 2 shiny M2 MacBook Airs.
Nice.
For work. So that'll be neat, since the M2 MacBook Airs, by all accounts, are fucking phenomenal. The only downside, because I've seen all the videos now, and I watched them before, but I didn't pay as close attention, because it's like, well, I'm doing this because I like tech, not because I'm actually paying attention to what I'm getting. The only downside is we did get the 256 gigabyte models,
Sure.
which I now know for a fact in this year's lineup are about half as fast on the SSD, because they're using NAND
Right.
SSDs as opposed to an NVMe class configuration. And then apparently, even if you go up to 512 and above, they're still using a NAND configuration, but it's in multi-NAND slave array.
Right.
Which is interesting to me, because that's not what they did with the M1 series chips. Very interesting indeed. And I almost wonder if either that was on purpose, a cost-cutting maneuver, or, and perhaps more likely, it had to do with that fucking Japanese factory of SSD silicone that got fucking infected, and the whole line for everybody was fucked.
Right.
I would perhaps guess that it is perhaps a move like that. So yeah, so that'll be interesting and that'll be neat. Because I'll get to play with an M2.
Yes.
I'll bet at work on boring emails and pages in Excel docs. But on the other hand, my company hasn't had current computer equipment ever.
Right.
ever. So that'll be nice. That'll be very nice. And it just so happened we got that SSD, already partitioned it, so we can have 2 time machines, one for each machine, and just hot swap them and be good to go. So that'll be nice. Fucking bro, how much battery life would you guess one of those things have?
The M2s?
Yeah.
17, 18 hours.
Yeah, 18, 19 hours. And I was like, fuck. That is, you don't, like, that's insane.
Right.
That is insane to me. I was like, fuck. Like, we could just keep one in the van. Like, we don't, for like a week.
Right.
We don't even, it's so ridiculous.
And they charge off of, basic USB-Cs. Most of your, it won't fast charge, but that would be enough to keep it.
So they can. So
Right.
this year's model, they reintroduced MagSafe.
Yeah.
Which is great, because I think MagSafe is fantastic and they never should have removed it. But yeah, you can do either or.
Right.
Which is convenient for sure.
Well, I'm saying, like, for leaving it in the truck, you could just, there you go. If it starts to actually get low on juice, you can.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna leave them in the truck, but if we are super slammed, we can take one, in, or vice versa. Or
Get your head out of my sleeve.
We were also just looking at the fact that, with Brock's situation with his kid being over in Idaho, and he goes over all the time and whatnot, and he takes my laptop, and it's fine, it's serviceable, but it's not like efficient.
Right.
And Brock's all about efficiency and a little bit of capital to do it, so we're doing it. So whether or not we will regret the fact that it has half the speed of SSD as Mac Mini I'm using right now, we'll see. Probably not, would be my guess, given that it'll be, well, the apps are going to be FaceTime, Skype, Zoom,
Right.
web, email, pages, and numbers, which are Word and Excel Mac version.
Right. You're
It's
you're
like,
talking about
that's pretty much it.
millisecond differences. You know,
No, pretty big differences. I've seen the stats on it, but
no, for the stuff
I
that
don't think
you're
it's gonna.
using, right?
Like, what do you mean?
For the apps that you're using, like to open up a, FaceTime, you're talking what, a second slower
Well,
on the other
but
hard
even
drive?
then, like, we're going from basically a decade newer machine,
Right.
2010 and a 2012 Intel
Right.
i5s
With 5400
with
platter drives.
that are probably way slower
Yeah.
than that now. Yeah, so I think we'll be fine.
Right.
you know, occasionally we have to render a 4K video for like a walkthrough or something. And even then, it's like, well, M2 has fucking 2 media encode decode engines now. So I think we'll be fine.
Sure.
You know. But it'll be interesting because it's fanless. So that'll be neat. I don't know. I'm just excited to know that I own at least 50% of it.
That's too funny.
So speaking of that, so Brock came back from his July vacation and he'd broken his Apple Watch.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh shit. And he'd apparently forgotten to put insurance on it. Which sucks because it's technically a business item because we use the walkies on them all the time on construction sites. And he had the aluminum and ion exchange glass one, and his glass had shattered. I was like, how the fuck did you shatter? Because like you've had that for like, because we have 4s.
Right.
Like it's not a new watch, you know. And I specifically got the stainless steel and sapphire for that reason because I knew I'm gonna hit it
right
eventually. And I've never broken an Apple Watch. I've had one catch fire, but that's totally different, you know. I've talked about this at length on the show. But anyway, he broke his. His was still working, but the screen was cracked. And he's like, yeah, I mean, fucking sweat or rain, it's going to come soon and like it's going to get damaged.
Right.
And so I was like, well, you're going to have to fucking either call them or you're going to have to drive to the fucking Apple store. And we're not nearby any close Apple store. And so in his infinite wisdom, he's like, oh, well, it looks like Best Buy has like a mini Apple store in it. I'll just take it to Best Buy. So
okay.
We were there Friday, actually, because they're like, oh, we have your Apple Watch ready for pickup, is what his text alert said from his Best Buy app. So we go there, and he goes to the Geek Squad, and I go to tool around Best Buy for the first time in person since COVID. Man, what a different, weird experience of a store it is now. A, super vacant.
Yeah.
B, like their fridge and smart stove and like kitchen appliance section is like 45% of the fucking store now. And I was like, what the fuck? Weird, but okay.
Yeah, Best Buy for your appliances needs.
I mean, I guess
we have most of our appliances actually came from Best Buy because their warranty on them is fucking phenomenal, and their price matching was even better. So it was just like,
yeah, Best Buy's has always had good price match. If nothing else, Best Buy has an amazing price match. Always has. Yeah, so it's just weird. I was going through, I went through the game section. They didn't have a ton of fucking physical games. The PlayStation 5 was locked in a case and presumably overheated and wasn't working.
Wow.
The Switch displays had broken Joy-Cons, the usuals.
Right.
But what I did find was they had some sections in there which were new to me. They had a whole Blue Yeti section.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Yeah, they have
oh, I
the
didn't,
content
I
creation
didn't know that.
section.
I had no like. I've never seen that in
Yep.
Best Buy. I used to go to Best Buy fairly regularly, if just not to look, because
Nope. You can pick up a microphone, a ring light, a
yeah, I saw that
webcam.
they had my boom
Yep.
mic, they had all of the fucking accessories. It's like fuck, and they were better priced than Amazon, I
Yep.
might add. And I was like, what the fuck? I should have come here. I didn't even think about it because pandemic. And I felt bad because I was like, shit. But what was weird though, right? So it's been known for a while now, Logitech bought out
Mm-hmm.
Blue. But Blue is still Blue. But so they had their Blue section, which had everything you could want from Blue and
Mm-hmm.
more, which was fantastic. I'm like legitimately considering getting the shock mount now. Because I know I can pick it up and not order it and be fucking 3 weeks away or whatever the fuck it took.
Mm-hmm.
It took forever to get the fucking accessories through Amazon, which is really weird to me. Because Amazon. But like I was tooling around. I went by the Mac section, which was fucking so weird. It was a fucking ghost town. There's no associates there. Uh like there was a broken Apple Watch display that clearly could not have been safe and nobody just gave a fuck about. Like it was pulled up from like one of those Apple wooden tables like you see in their
Right.
stores. And it was like a custom module, but it was like open face up. So it had like 4 puck chargers. And then on the back, just this fucking spider web of like open wiring plugged into USBs, plugged into other motherboards and shit. And I was like, that literally looks like an electrical fire waiting to
Right.
happen. It went by and it was so weird because they had like displays for like a bunch of different Mac stuff, but then like just like broken cords and broken things. And I was like, did people steal these? I'm guessing. Like, what the fuck happened here? Like, it looked like, you know,
Yeah, it's a
something.
trip.
It was fucking weird. And so then I walked down the gamer PC aisle just to see what was going on, and like all the keys were broken on
Yep.
all the Razer keyboards. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then they had a Logitech mic section, which also had like a duplicate of the Blue section.
Right.
But here's where it got weird for me was they had the Blue Yeti Pro X, which is the true successor to the Blue Yeti that I have now, which I was considering getting, and still am. So they had that at the Blue section of the store, and it was like $200. And then they had it in the back section, in the Logitech mic section, for $130. And I was like, what? I almost got one on the spot there. I was like,
Yeah.
it's not a 130 mic. Should I get this right now? But then I was like, nah. So then I continued touring through the halls and touched some of those new, just insanely thin HP laptops.
Oh, right.
And it's just like, Jesus fuck. Like, I mean, you beat Apple for sure, but like, also, why?
Yeah.
Like, why do you need a laptop that's as thin as a USB-C port? Like, I don't.
Well, the same reason we had, apparently at one point in time we needed cell phones that were the size of a stick, a pack of gum,
Mm,
because we
fair.
can. And then now look where we're back. Now our phones are bigger than they've ever been.
Yeah, but they're still thin.
But they're still thin.
Honestly, I would not mind a little thicker phone if I'm totally
Yeah.
honest. And that is actually why I do get a little bit of a thicker
Yep.
case. Because
it's one thing I'm loving about my foldables. Like that's it. It's a girthy
true.
boy even without a case on it.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so then I went back to go check on Brock, and he still wasn't done. I was like, what the fuck's happening? And he's like, I don't fucking know. Like, I fucking won't. Like, they didn't repair it. Like, it got sent back because it didn't unpair. I was like, oh. And so then I had to fucking basically teach the fucking Geek Squad dude that how he told Brock to unpair it was wrong, and then you need to do this, and so we had to restore from backup and wipe it correctly. Because apparently I know more than a fucking Geek Squad dude.
Yeah.
Which is 100% true, apparently. So yeah. So yeah, that was my weird Best Buy experience. It's just very strange, a very weird experience because I always remember Best Buy being like uh, a fairly lively place on most days.
Yeah,
You know, a lot of people, a lot of stuff.
brick and mortars are going away, and it's a sad thing. Like basically, most brick and mortar stores now are where you go to put your fingers on it, like or
Yeah.
right. You go, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
this keyboard feels good. I'll go home and order it online, even if you order it from Best Buy, right?
I mean, that's what I did pre-COVID.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, like 100%. Like, oh, touch this, yeah, sure.
and then
You know,
Panini come around, and now we go. We don't even need to go touch it anymore. We're good enough. Not even going in.
Panini.
Panini, yes.
What?
Pandemic.
Oh,
Panini.
see the way you said it, and then I looked at the subtitles in Skype, and I was
Yes,
like,
panini, like
is that like an Amazon competitor I don't know about?
no, it's a bread.
Yeah, well, I knew that, but I don't know.
Try to be
Did I
clever, and you just shit all over me. Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. So I had sent some things in technology. So you won't care about this, but YouTube is rolled out picture-in-picture support for all iOS users.
I chuckled when I saw that. I was like, really? That just now came
So
out?
this is the most bullshitty fucking thing ever. So I pay for YouTube Premium. I didn't always. I did it this year because since pandemic, I just, a lot of my stuff and it's bite size and I watch a lot of YouTube these
Mhm.
days. And I got fucking sick of the ads. And I was like, cool. The upshot to that was I got picture in picture because I'm a YouTube Premium user. I was like, okay, that's weird. That's a pay for feature. When literally on iPad, it has always existed as a feature,
Right.
but only on iPad. And I was like, that's fucking weird. And so then when they rolled it out to everybody, as a YouTube Premium person, I'm just like,
What?
no,
Yeah.
you can't have Pip. Pip is part of my 15 fucking dollars, which is way too expensive.
Yes.
Fucking like fuck you.
The only reason I ever paid for YouTube Premium was so I could play stuff while it was minimized.
Yeah, in the background.
Like,
right? Yeah.
that is such a dumb
Yeah.
pay feature.
Oh, 100%. So, like, Google, that's greed right there. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Pure greed. Let's see. Then came along. So I experienced this thing on the Reddit app, and I don't know if this has existed forever or not. Do you Reddit?
I do
Probably.
I
Ish.
consume. I
Okay.
don't really post or anything. Like,
I don't post a whole lot. Like for example, somebody asked on Reddit, and I just happened to be scrolling last night, specifically about the AverMedia Live Gamer Ultra and streaming with it
okay.
with an M1 Mac, and I was like, I know, I have your answers, bro.
I am your expert.
And I'd be like, and I'm like, don't do it. I said way more than that. I was way more technical, but I basically was like, it's not great right now.
Yeah, my
OBS
existence on Reddit
M1
and
native.
Instagram basically fall under the same circumstance. If someone sends me something that links out to it, I don't actively go on Instagram to find things. I don't actively go on Reddit to find things.
I'll go on Reddit to find things. Like I suppose if you wanted to compare it into the me husband and my wife paradigm, she TikToks, I Reddit. I'll read Reddit, generally won't reply. She'll start arguments on Reddit. Like that's generally how it goes. Whatever.
But yeah, so feature in Reddit.
Yeah, so I ran into this thing. So they've had avatars forever. And then I saw this thing that popped up. It popped up in Reddit, which is not something that Reddit. Oops, daisy. I accidentally opened a thing I didn't want to open because I flicked and clicked. I shouldn't have clicked. I think we're fine. Let me check something. Recording. Okay, recording. Good. Fine. We're fine. So I found this thing in Reddit where it showed like you have like little avatars of the little Reddit alien. And they've had those forever. But then they showed these fucking weird NFT things, and they were like, buy this, and I sent some pictures in the Discord. Buy this exclusive avatar for like $80,
Right?
and it's yours forever, and no one else's. And I was like,
well, in this case, a series of 100. So you and 99 other people
what?
will have this, and that's it.
I was like, what? That is some NFT fucking garbage, if ever I heard.
That's exactly what it is.
And it's like fucking. It's just I don't know what was up about that, and I was so thrown off because it popped up in the app, and I was like, Reddit doesn't do pop-ups. Reddit is against pop-ups.
Not anymore. Not when they can monetize.
What the fuck you doing,
They're
Reddit?
monetizing.
What the fuck you doing, Reddit?
They're doing what everyone else is doing. They're trying to find a way to make money doing what they have. So
yeah, I don't know. You know, it's a complicated thing. Like, I feel like if I think about it, you know, Reddit is like, it's a giant forum. Like that's what it is, you know, and it's a popular forum. You know, like before that it was fucking Z boards, and before that it was fucking GeoCities, and before that it was what, AOL chat groups by category or some shit. So like,
yeah, news groups, MIRCs, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it begs the question, like, how does Reddit make money off of it? Because I see adverts in Reddit.
Yeah.
You know, like every fifth scroll, and it's like, okay, they've got ads, that's fine. You know, but they don't specifically make money off of me. You know, Twitter, it's like, okay, there's advertising everywhere.
Oh, it's getting so bad.
There's, you know, yeah, it's true. And it's like, I feel like there's always like critical mass of when adverts pushes you off a platform. Like I'm pretty sure that's what happened with fucking MySpace versus Facebook, right? Like Facebook didn't have ads, and now it does. You know, and it's like, does the population of technology culture for humanity just jump from one technology ship to the next because of wanting money for a product that, by all accounts, is good?
Yes. I mean, we all want something we can use easily and unobtrusively. And when it gets to a point where it's like, you know, Twitter is basically, you know, it's another social media app. And if it starts getting inundated with ads, another one's going to pop up that's going to be cookie cutter. That's going to have basically the same features and without the ads. And everyone will just go, yeah, screw this ad nonsense. I'm going to go over here, and all their friends will go, and it'll build up, and it'll eventually say, hey, we've got billions and billions of users. Let's monetize off of them. Right. And then you may have, like, at that point, the former app goes, yeah, we blew that one. We're going to scale the ads back, or we're going to do, you know, a paid feature to get rid of your ads. Right. I think Twitch is already, they're contemplating going back to some sort of the turbo model.
I don't fucking know, but sure.
But yeah, it was the thing they had for a while, that you could pay for turbo and you wouldn't have ads on anybody's. Like instead, like now I can sub to a person, and then I don't have to watch the ads. Turbo was site wide, and I had turbo. I'm like, that's phenomenal. I hate seeing freaking ads every time I drop onto a new site. And they went, well, guess what? We're not making money because everyone's got turbo. I guess $15 a month per user makes them less money than rolling ads, which that's a scary thought.
I mean, but it's always been true though, because an advertiser is going to pay like, you know, $1 million or $1,500 or whatever for a certain amount of time and a certain slot and a geographic paid advert. But something that you brought up there about, you know, people always abandoning things because of ads. I have a technological example where that wasn't the case, and is still somewhat curious to me, even though it's been parodied. Look at how many people abandoned Skype for Zoom during the pandemic. Like, what was the logic behind that? Both are free, both are cross-platform, both are everywhere, both do the same thing essentially. And Skype's also got like a call-in thing, and you know, several other features and whatnot. Like, so, like, you know, it's like, what Like, what happened there? Because there's not ads on Skype. There's not ads on Zoom, at least to my knowledge.
None that I know of. All I know is that was the educator's choice for being able to set up and secure rooms, right? It's just the group call. I want to say works better on Zoom than it does on Skype as far as high volume groups. I don't know what.
I'd say if you have over 50 people, yeah, it works way better. But it's like, apart from like big corporation meetings, like where
Educators,
you think?
Because you got to figure most classrooms are minimum 35.
Guess I never really thought about it like that.
And so, and there was a paid, Zoom had a paid feature on theirs that's, that unlocked larger rooms, that unlocked higher quality video, unlocked higher bit rate.
Really?
And when the pandemic hit, and educators were using this, Zoom was like, we understand as a good faith measure, anyone with an educator's email address, we will unlock all the pro features for free.
Okay.
So, yeah, they made a smart business move and got, endeared themselves to the right group of people, which was educators, and then larger corporations going, hey, they handle 50 people rooms very well.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's very cross-platform, all the way down to, PC, mobile, you can iPhone, Android, doesn't matter. Zoom works. I don't know if Skype can say the same.
So I mean, I'm pretty sure it's on everything. I think the only thing Skype doesn't have, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe Zoom has a web portal feature, and Skype doesn't. So I'd say the large volume and then that are probably the only distinctions, other than obviously they're different code bases.
Mm-hmm. And then the security features.
Yeah, I guess. But, I don't know. It's a strange thing because I hear, I hear some longtime Skypers like complaining about like, well, but Skype's also been supplanted by Microsoft Teams, which does what Zoom does. And my understanding is also based on the same tech as Skype, but is now like getting the lion's share of stuff. And so I guess I'm just, I've loved Skype for a long time, warts and all. Like, it's been an amazing thing. We're using it now, and there are other platforms out there. And I guess I'm just wondering, is Skype going to be the next MySpace for its respective VoIP thing?
Probably. Yeah, but
and that'll be an unfortunate day when that happens, in my opinion.
Well, but again, you can move on to something else in the product family. Like if Skype ever shuts down, it'll probably roll all these features right into Teams, and then we just will be, the Fork in Your podcast sponsored by Teams.
Well, and then hypothetically right now, we could be doing this through FaceTime, even though you're on a Windows machine, because I can send you a link now, and there's a web portal for that now. So hypothetically, that too, or if Zencastr ever gets working on your end, we'll just do Zen. So I don't know. It's just stuff I think about from time to time. You got anything technologically?
I don't. I'm just toiling away with almost a year in with the foldable device, and I've got my complaints about it now.
Oh yeah.
Well,
like what's like your top 10 likes, your top 10 dislikes about
my top.
It's a Galaxy Z Fold.
It's the Z Fold 3.
Z Fold 3.
About a year in now, the built-in screen protectors are absolutely just trash garbage. Scratched up, peeling themselves off. The built-in screen guard that goes over the crease is just like cracked. It like dried and cracked. So now I've got this nice little, broken window look right in the middle of my viewing, because that's annoying as sin. And then just little software things that like I still don't understand what the thought process behind this was. So with the Z Fold, I have my back screen here, the face when it's folded. Okay. So wake up. So I have this here, right? I have my icons and whatnot that are set up on it. When I open it, any changes I make to that front screen don't carry over to this screen. And vice versa.
That's weird.
So yeah, if I set up a widget on the unfolded side of my screen and then close my phone, that widget doesn't exist on I have to add it again. But it's like, why? What was the thought process behind that? Or at least, you make it an optional feature. Don't mirror inside screen. For someone that would just, I only want these apps on the outside face. Right? Like, just doesn't make sense to me. 2, I use the Samsung Pay as much as I possibly can. I prefer it to doing any other payment systems because it's secure. I'm not actually.
I feel the same about Apple.
Right. It's not actually sending my credit card number. It's sending a fictitious Samsung credit card number, and I love that because you want to steal that, steal away.
Yeah.
Right. I don't have to replace that. It can just be reparsed whenever that happens. But again, with it closed, I can use it. If I open it, I can still access the app that then tells me to close the phone to keep using it. Wow. Right? It's the thing's here. I can do this. Right? I can reach out and still put my phone. Why can't it work when it's open?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
So it's just little nagging shit like that. And then of course with the wonky aspect ratio.
Yeah.
Like
content's gotta suck unless it's on web.
Yep. Yeah, it does. Like, again, TikTok, if I'm holding it, if I'm using it this way, it's 21:9. If I'm doing it this way, it's like 5.25:3. And then if I do it this way, it's like, it doesn't fill the screen and nothing seems to format right to it without letterboxing.
Yeah. So how's the crease in the middle of the fold?
That's horrible. Like, with the scratches in it.
I was looking there on the cam and I was just like, that looks pretty fucking creased.
Right. And, well,
I assume that part still works.
Yeah, that still works. And this is fine when you've got something bright enough on it. Let's see if I can actually. Yeah, it's a visual, but.
Yeah.
Right. Is that? Oh, of course, there's an advertisement right on the crease. But yeah, see, the crease goes away.
Yeah.
When the content is bright enough.
Yeah.
But with that crack in it now, it doesn't matter. I can see that. I can see that shit all day long. And then
sucks.
Again, you should be able to see that now.
Oh,
that's the cracking, and that's where it's separating.
I see the huge crease.
Yeah.
I see
the cat hair.
Oh, that's a cat hair. Yeah. And that's
rough.
Like, that's not what you want.
And then on the
tech's got to get better for that because that's not a software.
On the front side, you see how it's lifting there?
Oh, yeah, I do.
So it's just like, come on, for something that a $300 phone, I expect that. A $500 phone, I can kind of expect that.
Sure.
A $1,300 flagship phone should not be having those issues.
Agreed.
So.
Yeah, that's wacky. Well, my iPhone 13 Pro is still rocking. I do have some scratches on it, which is odd to me because I don't usually get scratches on my phone despite my job. So I have a couple of large scratches I can totally feel with my fingernail. I'm like,
how did that happen? Yeah.
God damn it. No, I know how that happened.
Oh, okay.
Couple of drops.
Yeah.
Couple of drops. Yeah, no, it's still rocking away. Don't really have any complaints on it. It's funny. I feel like, a couple of months later, this time last year, I feel like I was raving about the battery. I feel like the battery life is not so great
Well,
anymore.
that's inevitable. You cycle the battery enough times, it's going to lose its ability to hold a
Yes,
charge.
100%. But like battery health wise, like even as high a user as I use, as high a use and abuse I use on my phone, there's not any degradation yet. So I'm just almost wondering if I wonder if it's like software wise and it's just doing more shit in the background that I don't even know
Mhm.
about. You know,
The
because
forced
something that I
obsolescence, or do we not talk about that?
the four stops lessons.
Yes.
Explain,
Oh,
Maestro.
where it seems like right about the same time that a new model of technology comes out, the old technology
Oh, forced. See,
randomly
I
gets
need to stop.
slower. Yes, gotcha.
I need to stop looking at the fucking subtitles on Skype because they're not entirely correct. It came across to me as four stops
Oh,
lessons and not
forced
forced
obsolescence. Yes,
obsolescence.
they got it that time.
Uh, I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that has disproved forced obsolescence for
I
me.
know.
Like, I don't believe that that is a thing, at the very least, from the last several years of Apple products. Maybe before that, yes,
I believe
and
it happens, but I
certainly
don't
for other
believe it's in
manufacturers.
malicious intent.
Right. Well, it's like, so I think of it this way. Like, I know the next iOS that's coming out has a wowie zowie magical feature of being able to take any object and just pull it out of an image, and it's perfectly auto photoshopped
Hmm.
out, and then you can throw it in a text or a sticker or whatever. I saw this on a video with Marquise Brownlee, tech enthusiast, really well known on YouTube, and he's just like, "Yeah, it's black magic. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it looks this good. I can only imagine that Apple has been training their machine learning stuff, and now that code's in there and really working the machine learning chip, because I don't know how it does it in a second."
Right.
It's insane, and it works perfectly, and it's amazing, and I don't know how it functions. You know, so I'm imagining.
It's the ghost of Steve Jobs.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be the ghost of something, because speaking of that, and more people ghosting Apple, although he's not dead. So this is kind of big news to Apple people. So the for the first time since like '98, uh, Johnny Ive, who has designed all of these things for Apple and continued to design things for Apple even after he left
Hmm.
Apple and made his own company called Love From 4 years ago, and Apple was basically their one exclusive client. Apple has decided not to renew their multi-million-dollar contract with Love From this year,
Hmm. Okay.
which tells me this last slate of products, because obviously that stuff's worked way in advance for manufacturing purposes. Basically, last like next like year and a half will be the last Apple products to have any input from the legendary collaborator with Steve Jobs, Johnny Ive, who I feel has been largely nothing but good for Apple and is part of the identity that is
Hmm.
Apple and why people like those designs. Taking his place is the lead Apple Watch um, creator, engineer, whatever, who's taking over all of product development for Apple. And it's like, okay, that makes sense since he's been with the company a long time. It was him and Ive who did the Apple Watch together.
Right.
So that makes sense. But it's also, it's more of those signs of, again, Apple's become very corporate, it's become very big, it's become very homogenized. And it also begs the question, is the guy who's now fully replacing him, is he up to the
Hmm.
task? Like, obviously, he's been there a long time and he knows the design language that Apple has. And I'm sure they have a lot of documentation on how these things are designed and how to do this. And this is what the people like. And we have to do these certain things. And this is what make our products quote unquote cool,
Right.
or whatever, you know. But it begs the question that it seems like there's only less than like 100 people who are quote unquote the last of the old guard
Right.
at Apple. And it begs the question on whether or not they're going to have, I kind of look at it like a Microsoft thing, right? Like I feel like it was like the Bill and Paul Allen days, then it was the Bill and Steve Ballmer days.
Mm-hmm.
Then they were gone, and it was a fucking shit show until what was it? Seta, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Who's the current CEO of Microsoft, was like, hey, let's actually get some in-house people on this, and let's actually do this, and we get the Microsoft Surface,
right,
and Xbox kicking back in full swing, and like all these cool things. And like one could argue that Microsoft has become a lot cooler
sure,
in the last decade,
sure,
for sure. And their stuff is, they've got all their people in the right places for the foreseeable future. And it's like, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's the case for Apple, and that makes me a little trepidatious about the future. At least from a design perspective, because at the very least, under the hood, they are fucking rock starring their way out with their cock out right now.
Well, and there's a certain point of this too that you got to remember. As we age, we stop being the focus of these companies, right? Advertising dollars.
Sure. No, and it's got to focus on the fucking TikTok generation,
right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, we came up in the era of the the very colorful iMacs.
Oh,
right.
Yes.
And
I remember them all.
What the like?
And iPods. Don't forget the colored
iPods.
the
colored iPods and the clear plastikies and the right, and then that stopped being a thing, and then it was the hard aluminum generation that we're still currently in.
True, and and I actually don't. I actually prefer the glass and metal generation.
I do too. It's good. It works. It's versatile. If you want to customize it, you throw a case on it.
Sure.
Right.
Or you get an anodize or whatever. Yeah, I actually don't mind that particular design language, but it's just it just begs the question, like, what's next? Because everybody's used every fucking material that's like made, like with the exception of fucking liquid glass and liquid metal, and not the one that's in computers, the other one that's trademarked, because there's two. It just begs the question, is the next thing a puck and like fucking like you chop this in half and then these are fucking holograms? Is that the next thing? Like,
right, how do you interact it? And the thing is going to be, how do you interact with it? Well,
obviously it's scanning your finger at 1,000 frames per second.
Is it going to be?
We got the Face ID with the dot projector.
Honestly, if you were to ask me today what I think is going to be the next generation of this, it's going to not be this. It's going to be two pieces of wearable tech. It's going to be the watch you currently have and a pair of glasses.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. Look at we had micro products with like the iPhone, which then begat the iPad, which then begat now the Mac has fallen in step with that. And obviously there's this little guy who's technically every bit as powerful as my iPhone 4 was. Fucking however many years ago the iPhone 4 was, I can't remember right now.
Right. And the whole idea behind this is to get the information in front of your eyes. How better to do this than to actually put it right in front of your eyes? Then screen real estate isn't an issue.
True.
You don't have to deal with resolution. You have to deal with, processing enough that you can get the frames per second at a good enough quality.
Sure. Well, and that obviously is going to be a difficult bridge to gap, because even though we know there's that next gen Google Glass that looks pretty cool, we don't know how it cools in reality, because like that technology is here, but it's just not as mature as our phones yet.
Oh yeah, it's the screen tech.
Because now we're used to quad 4K at 120 frames per second with variable refresh rate with all of this stuff, and you have to translate that into a different technology. And I think that's going to be
but like
maybe the next
8K cell phone screens ain't going to be like the we're past.
I mean, you still don't need 8K.
You don't need
cell phone
4K
screens for sure.
cell phone screens. If I'm being honest,
No, you don't. Well, our human resolution tops out at like what 1440p or something.
I have no idea, and 60 frames per second, like right? That. But yet, the real life HD is it's pretty damn good.
I mean, I guess it can be. Looking at us both now, we both have glasses,
right?
So it's not perfect.
But yeah, so that's my honest take on it. It's going to come down to two things. You're going to have a watch so that you can have passive information, and then you're going to have active information, right? So you see it. Oh, I got a notification on my watch.
Passive and active.
Right? Boom, boom. There it is. Now my screen is up in front of my face. I can scroll it.
Speaking of weird tech, my wife got a piece of weird tech that I never got to experience until like 2 days ago. So she got one of those bone conducting headphones.
Oh, yeah.
Which are not headphones at all. I have now thoroughly tried it and played with it. And it is fucking wild and weird, man. Have you tried them?
I have, and I don't like the sound quality. I'm sure they've gotten...
So the sound quality actually was great.
Yeah, I'm sure they've gotten better over the years. But yeah, I've been bone conducting mics because of, I work in a high noise environment.
Yeah. And so does she, and that's the only one she's allowed to have.
Because you're not allowed to completely block out your ears in my environment.
Well,
you're allowed to put hearing protection on.
She has to block out her ears completely, but can have those.
Right.
So I don't know. It was wild. Like I put it on. It felt so weird and small and flimsy and tiny. And I was like, what the fucking shit? And then I played it for the first time. And then the sound is like kind of a little bit behind your eyeballs and not where your ears are. And that is the weirdest thing I've experienced lately. So strange, yet it worked. I was like, what the fuck?
What kind of voodoo magic is this? And why haven't we been doing this all the time?
Well, my understanding is because I know that it doesn't work 100% of the time for the population.
Yeah.
So there are some people where the bone conducting, I don't even know what to say, because like it's a headset, but it's not a headphone.
It doesn't have a driver.
The band.
Yeah, it just
I don't know what exactly to call it. The apparatus is in the shape of a headset, but it's not in your ears.
It's a trip.
Yeah, it's weird. It's super weird. Some Geordie LaForge ass shit. I tell you what. Like, it reminds me of the things he had in the movies, where instead of the visor, he's got a little thing on his fucking back of his head. It's very, very bizarre. But anyway, she's got a pair of them. That's actually what she spent. She did get it on Prime Day. And yeah, I've played with it, and it's really weird because, like, A, it does work for my bones, I guess. And then B, it worked so well for like 95% of anything I listened to. It seemed like there was certain, like very specific, certain music that it had a hard time reproducing.
Sure.
And it sounded weird and like somewhat warbly, which was strange because the way I put it, I think I was trying to articulate it with my wife, was like, it's like when you're talking, you have a box fan in front of you and you're talking into the box fan, and there's that little bit of a thing happening, but it only did it on certain tracks of music, and it did it consistently. So I'm thinking, however the drivers work to conduct the vibration into your bone, that driver can't quite reproduce it the way a sonic cone can.
Or your bone's resonant frequency is that note right there.
Exactly. Yeah, either that or it's my bones. Like, that's the other thing. Like, I guess it could be my body sucks.
No.
like Isn't that a weird thing to think about?
When I used the bone conducting, it was just like, yeah, because it did the like right under the back of the ear. So if I'd yawn or if I was talking, it wouldn't make the right contact, and it was just like, oh, it just felt inconsistent.
Yeah. Still, it's some interesting tech, and it's come a long
Yeah.
way since its infancy too. And it's just like that's, you know, like if you were to say to somebody in like 2000, like, yeah, you can have bone conducting thing, and then you don't put things in your ears.
Right. Again, to your wearable.
Well, what about the cord?
Your wearable.
Oh, they don't have
your
cords.
wearable tech. You build that your bone conductor into the earpieces. Put them on.
You could have them into the earpieces, couldn't you? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So
you're very right. Okay.
Yeah, the big thing is always going to be the battery. Where do you hide the battery? And if the tech gets small enough, like maybe
I was
here,
curious as to like
or here. That's where they're hiding them now, is like in the forearms of glasses. Sure. But even still, you're at that point you're looking at what 400 milliamp hour at best.
Yeah, probably something closer to our watches and the Samsung watches, which I think is like 450,
right,
430, something like that. So you got to have the silicone get down to that 2 nanometer. I think is probably when you'll start seeing those things become a better reality. Yeah. That's all I got for tech. Cool. After remembering a handful of things. Onwards to video games.
Yay.
Hey, Nate, have you had a chance to play video games much?
I beat Turtles. I finally beat it. I beat it in arcade mode.
Nice. I don't know the difference on that. I haven't played it since I played it with
arcade mode. Basic story mode, you can level up the characters and then get multiple abilities. Like the super move that you do, as you level up, you can build up 3 charges of it. Or go into radical mode where you basically like rainbow across the rainbow across the screen, and all your attacks do like triple or quadruple damage. But so you can do that. Yeah. Arcade mode is basically like you played it in the arcade. You stick in your quarter, you go, and it moves from one story to the next. There's no map. It's like you got it in the arcade. Beat the boss, onto the next level. Run to the right, beat the boss, onto the next level. Right. So it is the pure form of playing that, and there's no level ups. You get 1 supercharge. That's it. And there's a couple of achievements on there to make it through in 1 quarter. Managed to do that because I was playing with a group of people. So. Yeah. April O'Neil, still my favorite character.
Still haven't been back to it to check it out further. Fortunately, I've been busy not generally playing video games the last 2 weeks. I've
noticed you haven't been on stream or anything. But yeah, no, I think I made a tweet about it when it came out. Like when Turtles came out, I was like, this is the game I needed. Like I didn't realize I needed this game, and this is it. And I'm going back and I'm just replaying it it's just dumb fun. I tried getting into the latest Fall Guys update.
Okay.
I have never been so frustrated with a video game and its latency and input lag and how it screws you so incredibly when it happens.
Interesting. I have not touched Fall Guys since the big free-to-play upgrade and multi-platform and all this
I didn't
stuff.
either, yeah.
I know it's still messy, I guess, is what I'm understanding. And the updates they did kind of fucked other platforms, and other platforms fucked other platforms, and such and so.
And now it's basically cross every place you can play it, you can play together, and makes for finding easy matches, makes for some weird stuff happening in game.
I bet. I've been playing that game since day one, so I'm accustomed to having some weird shit in the game. My question, because I haven't been playing that, is did they add new arenas or new levels or whatever?
Yes, they actually have like 4 game modes now. You can do solos, duos, quads, and then like this year or this season is like jungle run, and it's like all jungle themed.
I feel like they did jungle like 2 years ago,
right? But it's a 4th mode, and you can. When you queue, you can select all 4 modes, or just if you just want to do solos.
Right. That's been in the game for a while.
I haven't played that in a while, so.
Do they have like more content
It seems
levels, I
like
guess is
it.
what I'm
Like
asking.
there's been a bunch of stuff that I don't recognize, but again, I haven't
Okay.
played it in a long time, so it could be old. It's just not to me. But yeah, there seemed to be a lot more things to do, even though I ended up kind of doing the same 6 things over and over again. At least on the
Okay.
early the early stages.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Fair enough.
So
Anything else besides Fall Guys and some turtles?
that would be about it.
Okay. Well, yeah, like you said, my game playing has been way less in comparison to June. Only had time to play a couple of things. I played. I've been continuing to play a little bit of Grounded
How are you
with
liking that? I saw
Daniel.
you got back into that, and that was one of those.
So
I don't know. It seemed to like hit and miss
Daniel
with
likes it
everyone.
more than I do.
Okay.
Daniel likes it more than I do. I I think the crafting system in the game is very good, and like building stuff is very good. I feel like fighting fucking ants and shit is jank. And I don't like it. And that's obviously an integral part of the game, being a survival game. And in this game, they have a thing, and I didn't know this until I got to a certain point where. So last I played it a little bit Tuesday night, Thursday night, one of the nights
Okay.
in the week. Um, and I was not having a good time in the game. Like I was playing it because Daniel wanted to play it. And survival games are kind of me and his thing together because most people don't want to play survival games with me. Um, and so I was not having a good time in general, and then we were about to get off, and then it wouldn't let us save, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" And then there's like this big ass fucking alert that was like, because he was off in some other corner of the map. And for those who don't know, it's the Honey I Shrunk the
Hmm.
Kids survival crafting game available on PC and Xbox, um, and on Game Pass. It's still technically in early access until September, where it's going to have its big 1.0.
Right.
Um, and I hope they fix a lot of shit because they need to. Definitely feels early access. But yeah, no, there's this thing. He was killing a lot of ants somewhere else on the map, and I was at the base doing base things, which is what I prefer to be doing instead of getting fucking raped by spiders and fucking stupid fucking fireflies that shit acid out of their ass and
Yeah.
all the other horrible things that kill you in this fucking game. Um, and there's this huge alert and said like the ants are pissed off and are now planning their revenge. Prepare or some shit in the screen and the corner of the screen. I was like, what?
Okay.
And then I see this giant arrow that I can see clearly in the game world in 3D, like point to this area of grass. And then it's like wave incoming. And I was like, oh fuck. I have got some walls and I've got one spike
Right.
trap
You're
in
like
front of my
I
door
was not
to the
prepared for
base.
this.
And I was like, I didn't know. And Daniel's off because they cutely measure distances between players in centimeters in the game, and he's like 400 centimeters away, and I was like, Daniel, get the fuck back to base. And I was like, I think there's a fucking horde coming of ants, and he's like, oh yeah, I've been out here killing a lot of ants, bro. And I was like, well, they want their revenge now, so get back to base. And so I was able to fend them off pretty well and whatnot. And it was kind of a cool mechanic. Like I think that's actually kind of cool that like you piss off a race of bugs and then like a horde of them come at you. You know, it's like okay, that's kind of an interesting mechanic in a survival crafting game. You know, like that. So like I actually enjoyed that part of the game, but the rest of my play I wasn't enjoying. I was not having a good time that night. I was not in the mood for it. Um, which is uh, somewhat at odds with the fact that there was another update that came out for a game that I love called Ashnir, where they added trains and train building into it, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And so I fucked around with that a little bit. I only played like 2 hours tops. I tried to get Daniel back into it, but he was not having it in that game, and so it's a little bit of odds where it's like, yeah, I'm playing Grounded because like I want to play with Daniel, but
Right.
like I'm not feeling it. Whereas I'd rather play Astroneer because there's now a new Astroneer thing, and you've got an Xbox thing on your speakers happening. What you whooshing into now?
Oh, I was just looking through the library. I wanted to see when Hot Wheels is coming out.
It's end of July,
Yeah.
and that makes me sad.
Okay.
It's not going to happen in the Timbers.
Yeah. Bummer.
You know why?
No.
Because Blade Chronicles 3 is out on the 29th.
Ah, gotcha.
And I think it's out on the 28th, and I'm like, I have no desire to spend money on that. I'm not going to play it. It is not going to be, the Xbox is going to be cold for a while.
Fair enough. But yeah, no,
for the next 300 hours.
I was looking at it and looking at screenshots, and of course, there's the trailer that popped in there.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm legitimately excited for that, but not this month. Like maybe like September or like an October maybe-ish.
Right.
Like I want to play it. It looks cool. I'll probably purchase it, but nope, not this month. That's out of sight, out of mind until Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is done. Which, speaking of, literally all of the sites and all of the little YouTubers have had either they've completed the game now and are embargoed until review date, or they've played, like, I think a lot of the YouTubers are saying they were allowed to play the quote unquote first chapter of the game, and they're allowed to talk about everything in the first chapter, but couldn't talk about anything in the other 30 hours that they played.
Okay.
So the large consensus across everybody from IGN to GameSpot to other YouTubers and stuff says Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is just a fucking master class of a game. It perfectly combines all of the elements that they did right in the previous games and none of the ones that they got totally wrong. They were saying I think Polygon stated that for once it feels like the ambition of Monolith Soft, which is the developer of the game, is not hindered by lack of technology.
Okay.
In this one. And that's an interesting statement because the development of these games was super weird. The first Xenoblade was on the Wii.
Right.
Then the second one was on the Wii U, and they did a completely different engine for that, which is powering their games currently, but they made it for the Wii U, and then they had to port that engine to the Switch to make Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And it came out in the launch window of the Switch, so it was totally working, and the game looks great, but the frame rate's bad, the resolution's terrible, It's not very optimized, unfortunately, even though Xenoblade 2 is where I fell in love with the franchise. And then they remade Xenoblade 1 somehow, because they had time, in the Xenoblade 2 engine after their full game expansion DLC for Xenoblade 2, which did run better and look better and stuff. And so people were saying, like, yeah, this is basically the first game that's like, they're not caught between console changes, and they've been able to optimize the fuck out of their engine, and the worlds are huge, and there's like so much shit on screen. You wouldn't think this is a Switch game. It looks fucking ridiculous, and it runs good, and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, no, everything everybody's saying about it has me hyped, has me expecting that this is going to be the best one. The combat's looking great. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Really stoked to have fucking 7 fucking party members on a screen, which sounds like madness, but I'm here for it. And then you can switch their classes and stuff on the fly and whatnot, so you can designate some of them to be attacking and designate some of them to be defense or healers. And they're not locked into that thing, so like your main hero can be the healer class. You can shove him in the back if you fucking want to or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That like,
so some freedom and flexibility that
it looks super flexible.
That you're
super
not
flexible.
Something you're accustomed to in that type of game.
Yeah, because usually when you play a JRPG, like your main character is your main character and he's got the abilities he's got. you know. And sometimes you can't even control your other main
Right.
characters. Like, for example, since it is a Xenoblade game, like the first Xenoblade 1, you can't like control your party. Like they just kind of do their own thing, and you have like a loose ass like engage target,
Right.
engage the target I'm focused on, retreat, defend.
Right.
And you basically like set up their sort of parameters before the battle or in a menu. Like, okay, this is going to do this. You're going to heal if characters get below a certain
Right.
percentage or whatever.
Just a bunch
but it
of
was like,
if statements and parameters, and it's like, yeah, that's not.
yeah, but it was very loose in Xenoblade 1. There was not like a fine amount of control.
Right. If I'm hurt,
Um,
heal me. Right.
Yeah, something like that. And then even then, sometimes like, oh, they're not walking around an enemy to heal me. Oh, I'm dying.
Yep.
Oh, I'm dead. Game over. So it looks like there's a lot more of that, and they were showing you can swap between any of the characters to assume direct control. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, like that seems pretty cool. Yeah, so very excited for that. I'm somewhat worried because my original plan was right now I'm trying to do a New Game Plus story replay of Xenoblade 1 and 2 before the game comes out, not just only for my streaming channel on Tim K Trotter underscore or Tim underscore KA underscore Trotter on twitch.tv.com. Plug there. Not only for the channel, but also because like even though I've played them all within the last like 5-6 years, I want to like remember all the things so I can like point out Easter eggs, or it's like, oh, this is from this game, this is from that game, oh, they're doing this is a callback to this, or whatever. Because the thing that's up in the air is, so like Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 don't have any story connections to each other.
Okay.
Apart from like a couple of things. They're self-contained, they're their own things, they have different battle systems, whatever. Other than they both feel like a Xenoblade game.
Kind of like Final
Xenoblade-
Fantasy did with a few of their entries.
Yeah, but it seems like, and nobody's able to confirm because they're embargoed, that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is different because literally the world of the first game and the second game are combined and are your play space in this one.
Okay.
And it's like, well, what's going on with that one? What's going on, guys? And so it's the question of, it's funny because it reminds me of the Final Fantasy VII remake question of like, is it a remake or is it actually like a new game? And it's like, yes,
right,
question mark. And so we don't know. There are people who know now because there's embargoes.
Right.
We don't really know. So there's a chance like other characters could be in this from the other games. There's like anything's possible at this point. In no public person has played it yet.
Right. And let's hope this not again.
Exciting.
Let's just hope it's not like a money grab. It's like we're going to combine the two games and sell you every single one of those beloved characters as add-on content.
Well, and that's the question. So there's been some more recent official content. So number one, they had a trailer for their expansion pass, which is not surprising because they have done an expansion pass for each Xenoblade game. And they usually deliver you some bullshit stuff, some like battle challenge shit, and then like an entire fucking new game with their expansions. Because it's like they don't Monolith Soft like small is not in their vocabulary as a developer. Like it's non-existent. There's nothing like tiny.
It's in the name. It's Monolith.
Fine. But in this one, they have like a picture art for their expansion pass, and it's the main character's sword of all three games, like stabbed into the ground. And it's like, are we getting the main characters from the other games? And they're like meeting? Are we doing a thing? Are we doing some bullshit what if scenario?
Right.
Like, what are we doing here? And then in this one, not only have they announced that, and then there'll be an expansion story campaign much later in 2023, which is not surprising. But they've also announced that there's going to be like new playable characters for this one. And they showed them in silhouette, and they don't look like anything recognizable. And so it's like, what the fuck? What's going on with these things? You know, so like clearly they have a lot.
Mhm.
They have a lot planned for 3. So that's exciting. You know, and so yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I have my doubts since it's coming out on the 29th that I'm still working on Xenoblade Chronicles 1 replay. It's actually what I was going to do all day today before podcast thing happened.
Sorry.
But not your fault. I don't blame you, nor do I blame your wife.
Oh yeah, blame her. Blame her all you want.
I said nor do I blame
No,
your wife.
and I'm saying blame her.
Nor.
Someone's got to take the fall for this one, and it ain't me. I read the calendar.
Fair enough. Yeah, so I'm hoping to do that. I think I'm on chapter 11 out of 17 on Xenoblade 1, and I'm like, so my thought process was like, okay, I can blitz through the story. I'm doing New Game Plus, so my character can beat everything in the game already. I'm not doing any side quests. I'm going from point A to point B in the story.
Right.
And that's kind of funny, like replaying. Like on the one hand, I do very much enjoy Xenoblade 1. I don't enjoy it as much as 2. But on the one hand, playing it in this very specific way makes me feel a lot like a reviewer in a way. And I remember hearing things about people like, yeah, you're basically on a deadline. You got to do this. You don't got time to go play the fishing mini game, you know? And with the Xenoblade, at least with Xenoblade 1, I haven't gotten to 2 yet, or again, is like, there is so much fucking cutscenes in this game. And I didn't really realize it because there's, you know, long gameplay segment, long cutscene, gameplay segment, cutscene. Like,
right.
That's, you know.
And you weren't pushing through, so you weren't getting through these long gameplay segments every 45 minutes or.
Yeah. So last Sunday, I believe it was either Sunday or it was another day this week, I was playing and I fell asleep in a stream.
Oh, fun.
And I went, oh no. I like woke up and I was like, it's been like 25 minutes stream. I'm gonna clock off. Like I'm apparently very tired. I fucking fell asleep in a stream. Like it's probably still up. Like you can fucking see it. It's like playing cutscene.
Yeah.
Just out.
That'll happen.
I was like, shit.
You would not be the first nor the last person to fall asleep on stream.
I know. I was just.
I've had a couple of regulars. I've had people pass out drunk on stream. Yeah.
See, that at least is like expected. Like I started and I didn't expect to fall asleep. You know.
Yeah, there's been the empty chair stream because it's like, hey, I'm gonna get up real quick and go in the other room and sit on the couch and out. Or like, oh shit, empty chair stream. So much that it's a meme.
Well, or sometimes I've had, because I still do have problems from time to time with my gaming PC. Is like I'll do the bathroom break, and then fucking shit crashes on the PC, and I was like, oh god damn it.
Right.
Restart everything. So yeah. So and then in terms of playing stuff, fucking just my cell phone shit, basically. Barely played zero Diablo. I think a new season started. No idea what's going on. I'm sure people are still pissed at it. Whatever. I did play.
I'm not even playing Wordle lately. Done. They finally broke my streak. I'm no longer 100%. I'm like, cool. Now I don't have to give a shit.
Oh yeah. Well, it happens. Yep. Like you try really hard. You're like, oh, I'm gonna do all the things. Then you slip up and you're like, whatever. Yep. I did play one new thing, brand new to my eyes and stuff. So PlayStation Plus's game of the month is a game called Arcadegeddon, which is a dumb name.
Why does that sound familiar?
But because it's been out for 2 years on PC. Recently came to consoles. Ironically, and I had no idea until I booted up the game, it's made by Elphonic, who made Friday the 13th, Predator Hunting Grounds, amongst others, and is located in Tacoma over here by me. It is a fucking hard game to describe initially. So I booted it up because it had 4-player co-op and it was a PlayStation Plus the game. So therefore, that means my PlayStation group on Tuesdays is going to give it a go. First off, I want to say I think the game is great. It's got a lot going for it. It's fun. Obviously, it seems like they're not really doing a lot of development on it since it's already 2 years old. Which is fine, I guess, apart from some bugs. But to describe the game is complicated. So it seems like a game that was made in a board meeting room that was saying, like, all right, what do the kids like today? Fortnite? All right, make it look like Fortnite. What else do the kids want today? Dubstep? Okay, dubstep. Good. What else do the kids like today? Fucking, they like tier geared loot in a white to gold color scheme of upgrades. Okay, throw that in there. What else do the kids like these days? Oh, roguelikes are popular. Okay, throw that in there. What else do the kids like these days? Let's get it on the whiteboard. All right, are we thinking on this? Okay, good. That's what it feels like.
You're
honestly,
probably not wrong.
And yeah, I'm probably not wrong either. But the specific cauldron that they have here on Arcadegeddon is it plays well. The progression system is cool. The fact that it is a roguelike is pretty neat. So you can end a run and get a bunch of stuff, or get fucked on a run and don't get anything. That's always good if you like roguelikes. To explain the type of game it is, though, is somewhat more complicated. So it's a third-person shooter, first of all, with PvE and sometimes PvP content at a frenetic Ritalin-induced pace.
Okay.
With an art style that looks like Fortnite, but with Tron.
Okay.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing. I actually kind of dig the aesthetic. And I say it's PvE plus PvP because you'll do an area, you'll be with 4 people. There's like, you'll do some shit. Like there's an objective that's a lot like the fucking golden Vex squares in Destiny. Shoot a bunch of dudes, stand in a fucking thing that's got a meter that fills up, blow shit up. You've got abilities on your triggers. You've got mods you can pick up, different guns and whatnot, ammo, health pickups, all that kind of stuff. Stuff that shits out coins and stuff to get. And you get to the end of like a zone. There's like a small section, and then it's like there's a store, there's like a re-equipping thing, and then there's a machine to smash to bump up the difficulty of the next area, or you go fight each other in PvP, and PvP is like a wild ass mix of Quake and Fall Guys.
Okay.
I'm not kidding, but with guns. So like you've played Fall Guys, you know that one of the ending thing is the hexagon square and you're falling down. So imagine that, but you've got a gun that you can shoot the hexagon squares out and like point up and jump down and do that shit.
Okay.
Then from that you go to a Quake arena with fucking boost pads and rocket launchers and shit, like blowing each other up. And then from that you go to like a Griff Ball plus Rocket League looking thing with a baseball bat and an ice rocket launcher throwing a ball in a goal, and then go from that to a fight. You're fighting other people while you're fighting PvE enemies for high score, and bragging rights, to like a finale that's kind of like the one finale in Fall Guys with like you've got the ice and you've got the platforms. and it's a little bit like Hexagon. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's ice and you have to step on the platforms, but the longer you step on them, they break.
Oh, okay.
Eventually, you fall in the ice. And then right back into the roguelike adventure experience with the co-op with bosses that you can actively choose to go into or not.
Okay.
And so it's got a lot of shit going for it. Like it checks a lot of boxes because it's like, you know, you can go through and you're like, oh man, that fucking run sucks. Or like, fuck you for taking my chest and taking my item. Yeah, let's fucking go. And then boom, into PvP, and then you get stuff for the next part of the run. And it's like, that's actually a great mix of stuff. And then the variety of play style in one game is awesome. Like, I love being able to be like, it's an intense shooter, and then suddenly it's oh, I gotta shoot the platform, and it's tactical to screw the other dude over, to suddenly a fucking Quake Arena-esque type thing, to suddenly this, and then back to the PvE experience, to then like, okay, all right, we gotta do our DPS and stuff for the boss. This boss has a phase 2, and we gotta hit the crit and stuff, and then like, you know, at a frenetic pace.
Nice.
You know, it's very fast-paced. And it's like, that's kind of an awesome mix, like, really, you know? And so I'm having a really good time when it doesn't crash my PS5.
Right.
And it sucks because it's host-based. So, like, we were playing for, like, 2 hours last night, actually. My wife let me play while she was packing.
Stay out of my way. Amazing. Go play video games.
I was having a fucking blast. But I was host, and then my PS5 crashed.
Okay.
And then everybody in the run lost their shit that we had. And we were like,
fuck. Yeah.
All right, we're done. We're done with this game. Switch to Siege. And it sucked because like I was having a blast of a time with the buddies, with the shooting, with the variety. You know, it's got a good mix going for it. And I don't know if it's free to play necessarily on like Xbox or anything like that. All I know is that it has been out for a while. So there is a lot of content in it, and I'm sure I'll burn through it. But yeah, if you're a PlayStation user, it's free right now. And it is, for those curious, because PlayStation sucks at their cross-platform within their own ecosystem stuff, it is cross-play between PS4 and PS5. That is how I'm playing it. Because unfortunately, part of the PlayStation 5 experience is, oh man, can I play this with my PS4 people? Better download both the PS4 and the PS5 version and roll the fucking dice. Piece of shit, PS4. Always crashing on me. All right.
Prototypers. Talk to me about it.
It looks cool. I haven't downloaded it yet. It is an indie game. It's free.
Yeah, I downloaded it. I'm just literally downloaded it. I saw it. I'm like, ooh, he said he was going to talk about this.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for this. I don't know where the fuck I saw it. I think it was either a Reddit or a Twitter.
Well, you commented in the Reddit, so I'm going to assume the Reddit.
Yeah, so I saw this, and it's like, it's a arcade RTS. I can only comment on what's in the 30-second trailer because I haven't fucking played it, and it's made by like one dude. You apparently have to use a controller on PC, which is an interesting thing because that's not usually a thing on PC. But basically, you're like a little hovercraft thing on sci-fi Marble Madness loop-de-loop things with stuff coming at you, and you shoot them, and then you get bigger and you get more AI people to fight with you or something.
So it's kind of like one of those the whole IO concept, or
a whole
.io. You've never seen these, or the snake games where you basically you eat a bigger snake, you get bigger, you become the biggest snake.
I don't know.
Okay.
I only have the trailer. I haven't played
it.
But now that you reminded me of it, and I pulled up the Discord and looked at it, I need to give that a go. I need to give that a go with my gaming PC, which I'm sure I'll be turning on shortly, then stream for the rest of the day, or at the very least until your files get uploaded.
Right.
But yeah, no, I just saw it and I was like, I like everything that's happening in this video. And even better, it's free. I'm going to check it out.
Right.
So,
Can't argue with
Prototypers,
free.
free on Steam. Super low system requirements.
Right. 1 gig total file size.
Like a fucking. I think the minimum spec was like a fucking i3 or something, in like a Radeon 530 or something like that. Super low spec.
Jeez.
And we've been talking so long, the wife has landed in Fresno.
Yay.
Yeah, so that's gaming. I don't think there was there's a couple other gaming things here. Again, fucking PlayStation. PlayStation finally launched a program called PlayStation Stars, which is actually not a terrible name of the shitty PlayStation games.
Right.
PlayStation Stars, which is a loyalty reward program for digital collections. On PlayStation, you get stuff, you get points, and you can spend it on merch or PSN stuff. You know, like Microsoft and Nintendo have been doing for fucking years. That's what I have to say about it.
Okay.
Period. PlayStation has finally decided to jump on that bandwagon. So that's cool. You know, would have been great if I had that on during the PS4 era, where I was largely a PlayStation 4 person. Would have been great. Good job, PlayStation. Good job. I mean that so facetiously. Fucking eat a dick. Like I said, Astroneer had a big update. They have trains in the game. I was able to play for an hour or two. I think they are a great addition to a game that is all about space crafting and survival in space. When you're mining stuff, to have trains is fan-fucking-tastic. That's cool. That's out now on all Astroneer platforms, which is everything, including Switch. But the trains update for the Switch version specifically was delayed a week and a half. And they apologized it. They were about to cert it, and then they found a bug that broke the game, and they're like, fuck, we have to delay this one in like the 11th hour. And they apologized, and they said it should be sometime in the next week and a half that Switch owners get that update on Astroneer. I don't know why I have the Hue page up on Amazon right now, other than we talked about it hours ago on the show, but let's close that. This is an interesting thing. So Bandai Namco was hacked by a ransomware group that wants like $330 million or something from them for their shit. And they're like leaking out all of their projected stuff. So if you want to know what Bandai Namco plans to publish in the next 2 years, you can.
Okay.
One of those that raised so two things came out of this that are of note to our audience, since I don't really talk about Dragon Ball Z crap here on the show. I can hear Mike yelling at me as we speak. Number one, regarding Elden Ring's DLC expansion, it is apparently called Elden Ring fucking fuck, I don't have the thing. Oh, I have to click on it. God damn it. The thing. I had it in my head. Now it's not in my head. It's gone. It's called. What is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is it in this article? Is it not even in this article? Okay, hang on. I remember the first time. Okay. Elden Ring Barbarians of the Badlands is apparently name of the first Elden Ring DLC content. It was the only thing Elden Ring related in the week, so people are assuming that this is the big expansion, which FromSoft has typically done for each of their Soulsborne type titles. The bad news is that it was slated for release in Q3 of 2023.
Okay.
Not this year, folks. Gonna be waiting a long time. And the speculation over that was either they're busy with other stuff, or, and this is more likely, that since it's been publicly stated they too were so caught off guard with the popularity of Elden Ring that they're making this a jumbo size buffet since they know people want it.
Okay.
And they will make another bazillion dollars on Elden Ring. That's the running theory on that. So that's what's up with the hack on Bandai Namco. This seems to be on the same level of hack as the NVIDIA leak from years ago and the Capcom hack, I think last year, that had all the stuff, or at least all the release dates for all the Capcom things. That was when we first heard about Resident Evil 4, even though it wasn't publicly announced that they're remaking it, even though it is now. Yeah, so we have that. We have the hack. We got the game. 3. That's pretty much all that's going on in gaming.
Cool.
There was some stuff on Xbox that's delayed into 2023, including Redfall. God of War Ragnarok has an official release date on PlayStation of November 8th. It hasn't been shown in over a year and a half, so it has people skeptical that they will make that release date. That is a funny release date because that was supposed to be Starfield's. So one can imagine that Sony was taking the opportunity to gut check Microsoft in the fact that they don't have Redfall, they don't have Starfield, they do not have their big AAA title for the fall, which is unfortunate for Xbox.
Okay.
And Sony is seemingly sweeping in, but, and I'll say this because I was the one saying it, Horizon Zero Dawn, or Horizon Forbidden West, Horizon 2, launched in not a great shape for a PlayStation AAA Plus exclusive title. It was rough, it was buggy, it was still an amazing game, but it was sure as shit buggy and crashy.
Okay.
I am expecting the same if they intend to hit that November 8th date on God of War Ragnarok, which has only been in development since 2018, I might add. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if they make that or not, given the fact they have not shown the game. They've shown the game once, and it was a year ago.
Gotcha.
So we'll see. We'll see on that one. I'm sure they want to. I'm sure everybody at Sony is like on the guys down there at Santa Monica. So we'll see what happens with that. That anything? As of Thursday, Sony has completed its acquisition.
Yes, of Bungie.
Yep. And that is hot on fresh rumors that Bungie is developing a mobile version of Destiny that is not a port.
Okay.
In what form that takes, we don't know. That could be anything from like a first-person shooter that's mobile-based,
right,
to I don't know, spin metal farming.
Right.
Old joke for you Destiny 1 boys out there.
Yeah, no,
What would you want as someone who still plays Destiny every once in a while from a mobile Destiny app, other than obviously it like helps with your bounties or something like that?
Yeah, like I don't know, other than being able to, like, the apps we have now where I can pick up my bounties and stuff, that's nice. But a lot of the stuff that we used to use the mobile apps for, like when would public events happen, when certain things were happening timing wise in the game, are no longer necessary because it's just not things. So I don't know what I'd want out of a mobile, like, other than to be able to play the freaking game mobile.
So you would want the Destiny 2 experience on mobile?
Yeah, but I kind of get that
Okay.
now with cloud game, Stadia, et cetera, et cetera. I can kind of do that, but maybe like just do some fetch questy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it would be good for fetch quests. There's a game that I used to play. I actually played it a lot. It's basically the Destiny / Borderlands game that's on
Hmm.
mobile. It's called. I have to look it up. Fucking, it's on my phone. Literally, the app is on my phone. Shooters. Where the fuck are you? So it's called Shadowgun Legends.
Okay.
And it is literally Borderlands-ish Destiny, which is the same type of game, on your phone. And it's good at it.
Okay.
I might add. Like it's like, I mean, I don't give a shit about the story or anything, but it is like it's all of that. The loot, everything, PvP, it's literally Destiny and Borderlands on your phone.
Okay.
But again, it's good at it. And it's been around for like 4 or 5 years now. On that mobile space. Yeah, it's like if they did it, I would imagine if it's like an actual Destiny thing, it would probably be something like that. So if you want to download that and give it a go, just to see hypothetically what it would be like on your Android, you can do that with Shadowgun Legends.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to play it a lot. Like it's a very competent first-person shooter with grinding and levels and all the bits that you're looking for. Just
all the
mobile.
bits.
I mean, it does have all the bits. It's got all the gear and the fucking quests and the grinding and the bounties. It's got the whole 9 yards. It's just not Destiny or Borderlands themed. It's other. So yeah. All right, I think that's that it.
I think
we do it.
we're it.
We did it. Untitled Chapter, checking the things.
Prototyper game is weird.
Oh, are you playing it right now?
It's weird.
Right now. He's playing it. Okay. Got a controller hooked up and everything?
Oh yeah, I always have a controller hooked up to my PC.
Fair enough. I gotta do the dongle.
Do the dongle?
Yeah, I do the Xbox dongle.
For what?
To play on the PC.
Oh, so it can be wireless?
Yeah.
Okay. I hardwire mine in. I didn't realize there was a dongle.
But I don't. Yeah, there is. It's the official Windows 10 Xbox wireless controller dongle.
Gotcha. Okay.
Clicky thing. This is the thing that was running around the internet that everybody thought this is the xCloud stick. And then those who had one of these is like, no, that's the wireless dongle.
Right, for your non-Bluetooth Xbox controllers?
Well, I have Bluetooth, but the problem is the Bluetooth sucks on my gaming PC and literally won't reach over to that couch behind.
No, even when it does,
I have this
it's
dongle.
freaking latency on it. So
yeah. So I have the dongle.
Okay.
I don't know if that's using the Bluetooth protocol or if that's using the proprietary wireless. Probably using the proprietary, I would guess. Because why would you need it to do Bluetooth? Maybe it does both. I don't know. I literally do not know. I've never seen a teardown of the thing. But I have it because it fixed a problem.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a thing.
Oh yeah, there's a thing. I think I complained about it last summer when I got the PC, and I was like, "Yo, this fucking disconnection thing from like a few feet back is stupid."
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I think Tony, who built the PC, looked at it and was like, "Yeah, the Bluetooth's not very good on the board." I was like, "Okay, fine."
Yeah, it's designed for a wireless keyboard and mouse that are going to be sitting within 4 feet of the
Yeah, probably 100%. 100%.
Right.
All right, well, that's it for another episode of the Fork in Your Ear podcast. I'm your host, as always, author, podcaster, gamer, Tim K. Trotter, and back to occasional streamer.
Mm-hmm.
You can find all of our stuff at Dynamicworksproductions.com. And then, of course, my illustrious co-host with his foldy, scratchy screen and his rabid cat.
Mm-hmm.
Hit him with your deets.
You can find me on
Thinking. He's processing.
my brain literally just shut off. You can find me on
Ram Buffer.
You can find me on Twitter at GGN8FOO. You can find me on the Discord and Twitch at N8FOO if I ever decide to get on streaming. Yeah, that's basically it. And meat is still meat.
Again. Again with that. Jesus, we let it go 2 episodes ago, but clearly not. Alrighty. And we're out.
Done?
Done. Thank you for listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast. You can find our podcast at www.dynamicworksproductions.com. Feel free to email us at dynamicworks@mac.com.
This is Dominic Armato, the voice of Guybrush Threepwood, and you're listening to a Dynamic Works production podcast.
The Citadel, Arrival, is the first installment in a series of epic science fiction short stories reminiscent of the Pulp Fiction style. It's a fast-paced story that will take you through twists and turns that you will not expect, until they are thrust upon you with all the force, excitement, and chaos of a plasma cannon blast. The story follows Katarl, a nobody cog in the working wheels of a futuristic society run completely by Megacorp, a corporation that carefully runs and manages the lives of the people living under its sphere of power. On one of Katarl's few and far between days off from work, an outing he had hoped would be fun and relaxing turns into an explosive adventure that drags him kicking and screaming into situations and challenges that will make him question every aspect of his life. Watch this colorful tapestry unfurl as Katarl and his newfound allies find their way through this classic, yet oddly surprising tale of good and evil, where nothing is quite what it appears to be. That's The Citadel, Arrival, by author Tim K. Trotter, available right now on Amazon Kindle Store and iTunes iBookstore for only $2.99.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello, Poppet.
so not working at all for you, huh?
No. I get a screen that says click to allow access with nothing to click to allow access on.
Yeah.
And then it eventually goes through and then says, there was a problem accessing your camera. And it says, on the health check, it says it's accessing the multi-channel port of my mixer, even though in the settings it's the regular.
Weird.
And the health check just says pending, so.
Okay.
Fuck it. I even tried rebooting and everything.
Okay.
I tried turning it off and back on again.
Hey, that's fine. I even fucking bit the bullet and downloaded Chrome again.
Yeah, I even did that. I did Chrome and Edge, which, basically blue Chrome.
Yeah, I don't know what that Lion browser was. Did
Brave?
you get that pop up? Huh?
Brave?
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Maybe.
I will say the M1 fully enabled Chrome uses 5% CPU.
Is that good or bad?
Well, seeing as it's down from 60,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's a little better.
just a smidge.
Yeah, that's I was just looking at it, just running in the background here because I had everything open. Closing it now. Safari was using like 8.8 CPU. My only thing on the Chrome on the M1 is the memory footprint is holy shit. It's almost a gig.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, what the fuck? Well, can't win them all.
It's planning ahead. It's like, I might need this.
Yeah, it's possible. Alright, so this open. Hang on, I have to switch call recorder because I had it set on Google Chrome.
All good.
In case, for backup purposes. So, all right, my call recorder is running now.
I've been running since I hit join call.
Skype is running now.
Flux capacitor is flexing.
Yeah, also looks like they changed a couple of things on Skype on my end because I had an update for that too. Looks better. I don't remember there being a raise hand button or a share screen button before.
Oh, yeah, there is one.
And I'm boxed like this, and you're widescreen, which is a little weird, but whatever.
What was funny is you were when I started the call, and now you're boxed in like I am. So,
yeah, I don't know.
Might just be a view thing.
Let me just double check. Make sure my Razer camera, Yeti microphone. Skype is Skyping. Safari's up. Discord's up. Cutting messages. All right, the apps I need are up and flexing. What do you say? The dogs, of course, they weren't barking a minute ago. We're barking. I apparently have a story about those dogs too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I cannot wait.
But yeah, remind me of that. There's like a lot of little stories all over the place here.
I will try my best. I am feeling like such absolute trash today. So.
Yeah, you've hungover.
Hungover, congested. Yeah. I went outside and I drank. So 2 things that don't always agree with me when I do them excessively.
I'm considering drinking right now, but I don't know. I've been up for a bit. I have a Red Bull. I guess I don't have to drink.
But you're more than welcome to. I will be abstaining.
Before noon, I probably shouldn't.
It's 6 minutes before noon. Really?
Yeah, and I have lines.
You're a man of principle. I respect that.
See, now 12:01. Oh, which actually reminds me, I do need this though. Okay. All right. Feel good?
As good as it's gonna get.
Watch, got the ring. Things plugged into everything else. Have fluid. All right, let's do it.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
In 3, 2, 1.
Cut in.